I have
So
a
too.
bad habit of doing it.
If you're a high self monitor, you do that.
How long are you going to keep this up, though?
I don't know, man.
He's so over it.
All right, you
I
guys
don't know,
ready?
bro.
I saw that y'all had the off the strength dudes on there.
Oh yeah,
We did, yes.
They're crazy.
They are. They're awesome.
They're insane.
Yeah.
We like crazy.
They're like the older brothers, like, we never really asked for.
Right.
But, like, we got them now.
And they're here.
Yeah.
For who, yeah?
Yeah.
I can't tell you how many times I've run into those dudes since the panel. Like, like every event, I'm like, so this is like becoming a thing, huh? And they're like, oh, you're here too.
That's funny. I guess it's the energy. You guys are on the same frequency.
They crazy asses.
All right, let's take 10 seconds.
You must be crazy too.
We'll find out.
Dig deep.
10 seconds.
Check, check, check. If you're hearing the sound of my voice, that means you're now tuned into chapter 112 of the Introverted Intuition podcast. My name is Jeff, a.k.a. the Petty Podcaster, a.k.a. the Ambitious Introvert, a.k.a. the Leader of the Libras. As always, I have my co-host with me, Lainey, CR. Coco's on the way. Say what's up, y'all.
What's up?
Yo, what's going on, everybody? It's your man CR908 representing Jump Out the Frame. Was good.
Why don't you ever represent Haiti in your intro?
People know I'm Haitian, man. Ça passe.
They only know because you tell them.
I mean, how else would they know if I don't tell them?
That's very true. Like I said, Coco's on the way, but we have a special guest with us tonight. I think we can all agree after the live seminar, we were deeply inspired by our guest's hosting skills and energy and confidence that she emitted during that event.
She articulated herself well. She had the energy. She had the room flowing.
Yeah. Kept the energy going. There was no dead air, no awkwardness.
And she was looking beautiful. Brown skin popping.
There's no different tonight. Looking beautiful as well tonight.
Black girl magic.
And we are honored to have her here tonight, honestly. Please introduce yourself to the people.
What's up, people? I am just Latasha. You know, hanging out here with the Introverted Intuition podcasters. That was such a great intro, a powerful intro that y'all all had.
We didn't plan that either.
It wasn't rehearsed.
Yeah, everyone has like a pop and a personality and a whole spiel. I love it.
Yeah, we're still working on it though. To maintain the pop. It's hard to maintain it at times.
Yeah, it was so organic though. I like that moment.
Awesome. Thank you for coming.
Thank you for inviting me.
Thank you for showing up.
Yes. Yo, I feel like we've really gotten kind of curved by guests before.
I'm
It
not
happens.
going to name no names, but
That's
this
the game.
happened.
That's the game. I
Disrespectful.
still get curved by guests. Happens.
Just Latasha. What is it that you do? Can you explain our audience to what is it that you do, where you're from?
Well, I'll start off with the simple one. Where I'm from is Queens, New York. What I do, in essence, is content creation. I am a screenwriter. I have 2 seasons of my comedy web series, Sit Black and Relax. You can catch season 1 on Amazon Prime. Season 2 on my own all-black streaming platform, Aurora TV. You guys can catch me giving my comedic, intelligent opinion on the Grapevine TV. You can catch me on YouTube. I have my Just Latasha YouTube channel. We're up to 18,000 subscribers. Skirt.
Okay.
Support me on Patreon, please. I have We Shall Overchuck with Jameer Pond. We are on a short hiatus, but we're going to come back 2020. Man.
What came
I
first?
got my hands full.
That's a
Working.
lot.
What came first was my first brand, Dope Files, when I was doing interviews with underground talent in fashion and music. And then somehow, some magical way of the universe and the alignment of it, I started interviewing celebrities, a ton of celebrities. And so I was having fun until I wasn't. I was like, I don't want to do this no more.
What made you get to that point?
Burnout. I am often a one-woman show. I do a lot by myself. It takes me a lot to ask for help, and that's not good, and that's not healthy. That's something I'm definitely working on. So I'm implementing that new skill into how I go about creating content moving forward. And yeah, filming, marketing, editing, PR, tweeting. Like I did everything myself, and after a while, I was just like, I want to sit my ass down.
I get it.
Yeah.
I get that.
And like meeting these celebrities, were you like an actual fan of them prior to meeting them, and did that change after meeting them?
Some of them I was like when Pharrell walked up on me, I was like, this is unreal. Like this is not even real. And he was sweet and kind and played back with my jokes. I mean, everybody's been really cool. I haven't had any bad experiences with that.
That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
And you add like a lot of comedy into, like I noticed specifically at the seminar, like you're very funny. You never thought about doing like stand up, or like when did you realize you were funny? Let's start there.
Yeah.
Like,
who'd you make laugh first?
Or laugh the
Yourself or
hardest?
other people?
My dad, who always encouraged his two daughters to like just be the best that we could be. So like if I made a joke, he made sure to be like, "You are so funny. You are so funny," and he like overplays it, and it's like that wasn't that funny. It wasn't that funny. I did try stand up and I failed. Whew, that was ugly.
Talk about it.
That sounds
Talk
stressful.
about
That
it.
was ugly.
Talk about it.
Listen, I am a true Virgo. I'm Virgo squared. I'm Virgo down. Like, I am total earth sign, so I do not like to take risks. I don't like to be embarrassed. And with stand-up, you have to take a risk of embarrassing yourself in front of an audience each time. That is not in my man-made algorithm. That does not work with how I'm, like, innately built. So I did try stand-up, and I don't find that having, like, a prepared like shtick, like a set, that doesn't work for me. I'm much better free form. If I could just say what I want. So like because you have to like say the lines as if they're new to you, and you've rehearsed them hundreds of times.
So it kind of felt like you were just memorizing and regurgitating.
Hey, anyone ever heard of a vagina? This guy over here, he's got it. He knows. It was terrible, and people were just like staring at me like, Jesus fucking Christ.
As long as they're just staring, if they're not booing, like I think that's
Didn't
okay.
get booed.
Yeah.
That I can say, but if you get booed, people are giving you like energy, even though it sucks. When people are silent or they're having their own conversation while you're on stage, that's different.
That's a huge
hella
distraction,
different.
and it's just I can imagine how that makes you feel.
Yeah, there was one of my last hosting, or not my last, but a few years ago I had this hosting gig where I swore I was like, I'm not getting on stage no more. I could not win the crowd over no matter what I did, but I was coming in with these prepared shticks and material, and it wasn't landing, and it was just real bad. And I was like, okay, so I'm not doing this no more at all.
I could see you being good at like crowd work, like interacting with the crowd and like maybe make fun of them, or just like building up a story with the audience. I could see you being good at that. But you never doing stand up again, I'm assuming.
I think I'm cool on stand up.
I think she tried it and she's done.
But
I did.
so Virgos, a common theme with them is they're not risk takers. What made you get into interviewing? Like, how did you even start interviewing, and how did you work your way up to interview celebrities?
I started interviewing by doing like this kind of style on the street segment. I literally went to Best Buy, bought a camera and a mic, went to Apple, bought my laptop, learned iMovie, and I was just like, I'm just going to get started. I'm just going to do it. And I would walk out, and I hired my friend for $25 a shoot to
That's a real
just
friend.
follow me. Yeah, follow me. He wasn't working. He can come get this $25. To be honest. So he followed me down to Fifth Avenue, and I was stopping all these people, and I was like, you look cool. You want to talk to me on camera? And they were like, yeah. I'm like, what style is this and that? And it was just a fun, cool, like amateur moment. But I always knew I wanted to interview music artists as well, and understanding that, especially when it comes to Black people, we don't have a platform that uplifts us, like while we're on the way up and like crossing into like a mainstream area. It's like either no one's paying attention to you until you get like popping, or you have somebody behind you. And I thought that was kind of whack. So my platform, Dope Files, served to highlight the underground talent. And so I interviewed so many music artists. And I'm listening and streaming music now, seeing the people that I've interviewed way back then on these people's albums. Shout out to Coco Sarai, who's on Anderson .Paak's album. Sonia Elise, who's also on Anderson .Paak's album. I'm seeing like people like I talked to back in the day, like doing their thing, and it's just so like it's just incredible to like watch. I'm like, damn, y'all out here. We was out here together. That's crazy.
Did you always like believe you would work your way up to the point where you're really interviewing celebrities, or was
I don't know if that was ever the goal. That just honestly kind of happened. If y'all follow me on Twitter, y'all see that I'm stalking Cisco at the moment. I used to be his #1 fan. Like even when someone else is platinum hair, bad bitch. Yes.
He has a Twitter account? I didn't even know that.
It's official Cisco. He doesn't check it because I've been tweeting him. I've been tweeting him relentlessly, and he has not answered me back.
Not for nothing. Cisco's
One
first
day.
album was like the best thing ever.
That first solo album, right?
Yeah.
Come on.
Everybody loved
The
it. to the
2000s
Dragon.
wouldn't have been nothing without
Yeah.
him.
2000s was just everything music wise.
Yeah.
So we looked horrible. I will say
We
that.
did. We
looked
did.
fucking
We dressed
horrible.
poorly.
Fashion was
And it's crazy how
horrible.
it's
Big ass
coming
boy.
back now. Like a lot of those 2000 styles is coming back now. I kind of cringe sometimes, but then it's just like
Just
but-
stop putting the large belts around your bellies. Just that has to
You know
has
what?
to stay in the
If you used to go on
past.
Facebook and find me, I have plenty of pictures and little poom poom shorts
Yeah.
and little white shirts and a little nice gold large belt or
Ooh,
whatever.
that was it.
Yo, I
that
need
that
to
was
see
it.
this.
That
in
was the
early,
look.
like 2005.
And I bet you
6.
slayed when you stepped out.
Sure did, bitch.
That's it.
Heels and everything.
Yo,
That's it.
can you bring in those pictures next time? Like, I need to see those.
I got you. Hold on.
Oh,
Oh,
the
she's like-
Chronicles.
Facebook coming
I'm
up.
proud of my little 23-year-old self. I'm 33
Listen.
now, so it's a little.
Right. It sounds corny
When I
to
look
be.
back, I be like, damn, bitch, you was
Right.
really hitting something. Like,
Listen,
Ooh,
it
what
sounds corny to
happened?
be bringing up Cisco this day and age, but he really was the fucking king.
He
Like
was
he
the
really
shit.
was running, and that was like after Drew Hill. Like
Yes.
I still
That's a
like.
fact.
we
I
would never
still
discount
love-
Drew Hill, but
Right.
Cisco came out like he was like one of the first people who left his group and was like the big
And
end.
successful.
Yeah.
Successful solo
Oh,
artist.
Marcus Houston too, though. Was you an immature fan?
He wasn't as successful.
He wasn't as successful as Cisco, but I was an immature fan.
But he was successful. Though,
For
man.
he was successful.
He
Marcus
had a
was
show.
successful.
That
Yeah,
song,
he had
All
some
Because
good
of You,
acting
like
gigs.
Circles.
That's
yeah.
it.
That song with
Favorite
Joe
girl.
Budden. Up in the club. Dum, bum, bum,
Hope-
bum.
what is
Oh,
it?
All Because of You is my
yes.
favorite shit.
Word.
My favorite shit. And Naked. Who can forget that?
I
Yeah.
like my very burn in a house on a
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that was my
Yeah.
jam.
Do
He
y'all,
had some hits, yo. I'm sorry.
do y'all ever
I love
wonder like
Marcus
what
Houston.
happened to these artists? Like they were so hot and like what went
Yeah,
wrong? Like,
Marcus Houston wore a transparent tuxedo.
Oh,
that was fire at the time.
Oh,
It
yeah,
wasn't.
That was.
I
thought
gotta
it
look
was-
this
I
up.
thought it was
Yeah.
What? You
cute.
never saw that?
no. What
That
the
was
fuck?
the stamp. Where it was just like, okay,
You were done.
He was
that was the boundary for his career.
like Kanye and ASAP Rocky before them. He was
No,
on the ledge with
It
the
was
fashion.
bad. It was bad, present and live at the time. Because you didn't even wear like good underwear. You wore like your boxers, like laundry
That's
day
true.
boxers.
He did wear like the white boxes with the blue triangles or some shit like that.
Like, sis, what are we doing? And then Cisco, he killed his career with that terrible song that was trying to be Thong Song Part 2. Dance for me. Everybody wanted to dance for me. It was really bad. And then he tried to pick a fight with Usher. And I was just like, come on. I was sitting in the 106 in Park audience like, this is it. My man is killing killing his whole career.
Wait, it happened on 106 in Park? You were
Yeah, it was a huge beef. He had half his hair in cornrows and half in an afro, and it was like kind of like this bronzy orange blonde. And he was just so cocky because he was Mr. Thong Song. And I was like, I felt it. I was like, I love you so much that I can tell you that this is it. This is the end.
Wait, so
This
what
is
do
the
you
end.
want from Cisco in 2019? Like, why are
I
you tweeting
want him to say hi to me.
And that's it?
Yeah, with like, I would like acknowledgement for all the years we've spent together. He didn't know that I was there, but I was very present in his life and his career.
I promise you this podcast will not help make that happen.
That's fine. That's
But
fine.
we could put it into the universe and we could pray together after the podcast so you can
I
get
just
that
think he should say hello. I sound like an incel. I just think he should talk to me. I'm just kidding.
So I just found the goddamn picture of Marcus Houston in the transparent
Come
tuxedo.
on.
fire.
Like,
Speak on it.
What the fuck? Like, yo,
Yeah.
he has a wife beater on.
Right.
With, I guess those are regular boxers? White boxers.
They regular.
Regular. You know what I'm saying? It's not no patterns on it. He got on a dog tag and he got
No.
some Air Force Ones, high top.
Confidence.
Confident as hell. His face looked like he's the shit.
He probably won an award that night.
Yeah.
Yo.
He probably won an award, maybe two.
Wow.
That's like when Little Mama stepped out as the baby of hip hop. It was like, now who in your circle allowed this tomfoolery?
Somebody had to warn you.
By the way, we gotta
Somebody.
forgive Lil Mama for that shit that she did when she walked on the stage. Like, it's time to forgive her.
I
People
think
still
we
get
forgave
after
her silently, but collectively.
Not Black Twitter, not that I see. Like, they still go after her ass. But did you go to school for like interviewing and like media stuff, like, or did you just do it off the cuff?
Yes and no. My school, I went to the College of New Rochelle. Don't go there. I didn't know it was an all-girl school until I enrolled. So that was a whole thing.
Oh, no. What kind of shock was that to your system?
It was a shock, but you know, there was 2 co-ed schools like down the block. We were fine. It was niggas.
And I know they was
so-
always pulling up.
Yeah,
Of
and
course,
it was
yeah.
stupid. God, they're so dumb. And so my school had like a broadcasting course, but I took like movie editing and like this short. It wasn't even screenwriting. It was just like you had to make a movie, and so to make a movie, of course, you and your group have to like make a script together. We made a terrible movie. It's supposed to be a horror. It was real bad.
What was the title?
I don't remember. I don't know, but some girl was being stalked by her sister and got murdered or something. I don't know. It was so stupid.
Sounds good.
23-year-old Helena. Eat your heart out.
That's her and that big belt.
Black don't crack. Look exactly the same. What year
Definitely
was
looks the same.
Eat
Yeah.
your heart out.
Bruh, black does not crack. What the
that? Like,
fuck?
that was yesterday. Like,
Just a little chunkier,
with the
you know.
with the cheetah pattern and everything.
cheetah girl.
Woo!
Yeah, with that long bang.
Yes, that was that was like my saving grace. I did not ever want my face to be shown, so my hair was always like in front of my face.
You want some Aaliyah shit? Just had to wind
No,
up?
I really did. And people hate, everybody I would date would be like, show your face. I'd be like, no, I'm good. Like, where's these long bangs at? There we go. Bangs.
Wow.
And then once I learned about wigs,
It was over.
I'll never forget my ex-boyfriend, his cousin came from Cali, and she had on this wig, a half a wig. And I was just like, bitch, that's not your hair. And she was like, no. The next day I was in the store like, I need all the half a wigs you have. Like, bring them here.
Half a wig.
Damn, I didn't
Still
wait.
my favorite shit.
What's half a wig?
It's a half a wig. Like,
So like,
It's just
You put it on half your head and you leave your actual hair out in the
And it all
front.
blends
which half
in.
though? Is it the back half or the front half?
Now,
You
why would you
choose.
leave the back half of your head out? Why would you do that?
I don't know. I
gotta
never
use
wore
con-
one of those. Like,
You gotta use the context clues.
you never know.
Yeah, I thought it would just be like a choice. So you just decide what you want to put on. Like,
Which half of the head you
yeah,
gonna leave
like,
out?
on Thursday you might want to you want a little more hair in the back. I don't know. Like,
Right? What if you want an extension in the front, like some curly bangs or
That's
something?
the big belt. We
Or
were
a faux
talking
hawk.
about.
God, this shit
The belt was, yeah. The belt was real
look
back
like
then.
packing tape.
Damn.
Hey, that was the style.
Listen, the larger the belt, the badder the bitch.
Word.
You know?
That's so
Shit.
And we wore it
And that was-
high.
Yeah.
Yeah, that shit.
Ooh, 7 days, 7 nights.
Yeah, listen.
Yo, was that the first waist trainer? Like, goddamn. Like,
You know what? When you
know what?
outside, it kind of, I guess I can
And
see
we was
that.
all in the club with round bellies too. It wasn't even. I don't even know why we just trying it.
we were nuts. I'm glad we made it this far. Like,
I remember when
7
niggas
days.
was rocking triple X tees, Galaxy t-shirts
Yes.
with their fitteds. And you remember we used to do the black t-shirt with the white t-shirt underneath?
yes,
The double collar? Yeah.
It
shit
must
never.
be a Jersey thing.
Shit
Really?
never.
Y'all
changed.
didn't dress like that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Damn.
That was
ACGs
fun.
was Jersey.
Oh,
like,
yeah, all the
AC
way.
Everybody had
I
them
still
shits.
got a pair of ACGs.
You still wearing?
Yeah, when in wintertime, bro, those
What,
are
the
perfect
Nike
boots.
boots?
Yeah, the
Yeah.
Nike
Yeah.
boots.
I never
still rock
understood
them
when
shits.
people started saying, like, remember when everybody was like, oh, we don't wear Timbs no more. And I was just like, what the fuck is wrong with
When
y'all?
did that
Like,
happen?
Yeah, I don't
and
know.
then
I
I'll
still
never
wear
forget
Timbs.
the year Jay-Z wore Timbs at the VMAs as he performed Otis with Kanye. And then the next day after that, everybody was like, oh, Timbs. I'm just like,
Tim's were okay again.
the fuck? I thought we was
Those
always
Timbs
in
and
Timbs.
Ibisus.
Niggas
Yes.
in Brooklyn were whispering shit like, yo, Jay said it's
And
cool,
Vansons.
y'all.
Don't forget the Vansons.
Niggas followed Jay's every move. Everything he said wasn't cool and was cool. They would go
Absolutely.
with.
That's
He
right.
Except for
had-
autotune. That ain't work.
I was just about to say he failed at autotune, so he canceled it for all of you.
He failed that auto-tune?
He had
Yeah.
a terrible
I think it kind of
auto-tune
killed
song.
He
T-Pain
tried.
for
I
a
think
minute.
I like that one.
It did.
I like the song, but what he was trying to do didn't work. He was trying to kill the whole
That was for
autotune
Put
culture.
On, right?
Hmm?
Didn't he do auto-tune for Put On?
I don't know.
Put On.
What you talking about? Who?
Jay-Z.
No, I don't remember him ever using autotune. Pull it up. I don't know.
He
I
had
don't know.
one single that was autotune heavy,
What-
and it was
what
a
song?
bad. I don't even remember the
Oh.
title,
Mm.
but it was autotune heavy, and it sucked, and he didn't like that.
Can
so
I
his
say-
next single said "fuck autotune."
Can I say that I think the reason he hates autotune and all that is because he can't sing, but he wants to be able to sing. I think that.
I don't
I
think that at all.
Bruh, I've heard people who've met Jay and they say like he's always singing. Like he's literally always singing. Like I think
you know
he's
what?
low
That
key.
could be true because I'm always
Really?
singing, and
Yeah.
I always wish I like, in my
I
head.
think
it was
he
just
low
like,
key wish he could sing.
Me too. That Summer Walker album, I don't care how deep my voice is. Like, I'm singing that shit. Like, I would use auto-tune if I was, like, musically inclined, but I'm not, unfortunately.
That was a fire album.
Word. So, you were in school, kind of in school, getting the knowledge to learn how to interview and media train and public speaking.
Yeah, I didn't take the media courses that they offered. I don't know. The classes I chose were all, I was just shooting at the wind, really. And so I got started on my own afterwards. I mean, it didn't take a lot to understand what you would need to interview. My first few interviews sucked, of course, because I had no skill or I had no education behind how to conduct a conversation, how to make it progress, how to like get information out of your subject. Like I just had no knowledge, so I was just asking like these really deadpan yes/no questions, which you never want to ask, and then asking the same questions every interview and not tailoring it to the guest that I had on. So it was a learning curve, but like I just like went out and just started doing it.
That's actually part of the reason. That's one of the main reasons for me personally why I wanted you here, because you are a really good interviewer in my opinion, and I'm still learning how to interview. So was there like an interview that you did that you was like, okay, yeah, I think I got this, or was it somebody whose reaction to it that made you want to keep going with it? Or
Kevin Gates got me fired from Hot New Hip Hop.
How did that happen?
That was a really bad interview.
I still love you, Kevin Gates.
He just, I mean, from jump was just not feeling me, and I'm just getting any answer out of him was like pulling teeth, which I wasn't expecting because some woman was in there right before me and they had such good energy. I was like, oh, this is going to be great. Like he's going to get my humor. He's going to like understand my questions and all that. But every question was a brick wall, and I just could not get the conversation going. And then I think he was so like off from, well, I felt unprepared. Let me start there. I felt unprepared because there wasn't a lot of information on him online. Like I was trying to Google him and find stuff, and all he had after a lot of research was this rinky-dink site with a very short bio. So I was asking him questions from his bio, which when I got there, he was like, I don't know where you got that information from, ma'am. And I was like, okay. And so Hot New Hip Hop let me go. And, yeah.
Fuck that.
Damn.
That's definitely early in his career because he's
super early, yeah.
Yeah, because when it's early in their career, remember they don't have the page up yet. So whoever put the first information out, they're going to change it once they get popping.
Yeah.
He's probably still in the streets, like not really want to talk about anything, still adjusting to the industry.
I feel
maybe.
like that too. He probably
I
still
love
had
Kevin
that hood
Gates.
mentality. Yeah, I love his new album, yo. That song for him. Is the album called For Him, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't listen. I don't listen.
I don't
to
know.
Kevin
After
Gates.
that, I've literally never followed his career.
I understand.
We petty
I
like
understand.
that. I'm like, man, I don't see you no more.
But even though I've even like, I don't know, I've watched like a video or two by his, and his music just didn't like kind of catch
Didn't
me
hit.
that way. Yeah. So.
Yeah, I don't see the appeal. Is he like a lyricist to you?
I mean, in
I
my
just like
opinion,
that.
he's just entertaining.
The
Like
energy.
he's just entertaining for me.
I relate to, I don't know. I guess I relate. I like that hood shit. I always say that. Like, it's a certain, like, I like a certain type of talk in my ear, and he does just that perfectly. And he's like, he's not a dummy. I like people who confuse you with the package. They may look one way, but when you really, like, listen to them speak, it's just, oh, wow, like, you know something. So that's why I like Kevin.
I agree.
How much preparation do you recommend for an interview? Do you think you should spend hours on end, or maybe a few minutes browsing through like an Instagram or a bio, or do you do like what do you do?
I don't think I would use Instagram unless like a moment happened on Instagram. Like if you were to interview Solange, we know that she had this Instagram moment where she put this long caption and then people assumed that she was cheating on her husband and all that. Like that would be a great point of an interview. It depends on what you want to get out of the interview. It depends on who you're interviewing, and it depends on what your entire intention is. Like if I were to interview Oprah, I would probably put days on end. Or Rihanna, shout out to that Vogue journalist who didn't prep at all for the Rihanna interview. It was so insulting. If I were to do like a high scale interview, I'd be prepping like for days, like going back and like getting old information, new information, upcoming information, getting their opinions on current events or current trends or something like that. Or if you get somebody like maybe newer or underground or something like that, you just kind of get what you can find and then add your own elements into it. So like I know I love to have comedic elements in what I do. So what I like to do with my guests is like play games, and like they're just stupid and nonsensical and they don't matter, and it's just something to like just have fun and like create a moment.
I feel like for podcasting versus like a one-on-one interview for a magazine, like I feel like for podcasting, yeah, you should do research on who you're interviewing. But for me, I've learned to look at a few things and then go in with that information and then just feed off the energy of the guest from there. Like I feel like it builds more of like a genuine, relaxed environment for me because I overthink as well, and I'm not really good at like going to my phone and going to the guest to ask a question. I feel like that takes away from the moment. But I can see how for like a Vogue interview you should prepare a lot.
Yeah, I mean, I've been interviewing for years, so I know how I trust myself to maneuver like I know that I can make up questions on the spot, and I also know that I would have like questions in the chamber. Like I would come in with questions, and you go back and forth between where the conversation is naturally going and the things that you actually want to know, and find that flow. But that just takes practice. It just it just takes experience and like trusting yourself and getting to know the craft.
Is the interview? What?
No, I was just gonna say I could assume that that's something that is contingent on the person and the individual, because whatever works for that person, like you said, you're more of a free-form person when it comes to things. So like even though you're coming prepared with some stuff, you know that you can rely on the fact that you can come up with a question right on the spot.
Yeah.
And then for somebody like Jeff, it might be easy for him to just pop up and feed off the vibe, and he could probably like maybe remember some things. Yeah. So I think that's dope. It depends on the person.
And I think that you're funny is like the most important thing, like the best thing, because it'll break the tension if there's any awkwardness with the guest. I feel like the guests probably always 10 out of 10 times going to be nervous or like feeling awkward because they just don't like the camera or the attention like that. But the comedic aspect definitely is good at breaking the ice and is important.
I mean, that energy has to be said as soon as they like walk in the room when y'all are shaking hands and saying hi, like,
because they have to look at you like, yo, okay, when I'm looking at her, I'm about to smile, like, because I know all the best interviews I had, the person made me feel like, yo, when I look at them, they're gonna make me laugh, like,
and you just create that home vibe off the rep.
It makes you feel at home, and you can build that rapport.
Yeah, and that's why I was glad you didn't want to come right in when you got here. You wanted to just sit and like just chill for a bit.
I love when we get to do that.
Yeah, it breaks the ice a bit, like relaxes the mind a bit.
We can be silly a little bit, get a feel for each other's sense of humor before we record and shit.
Yeah, some guests, they just show up and they just want to get right in. And they just want to leave.
Yeah.
Right after.
Oh, yeah.
So it's just like, did you really have a good time? Did you lie and tell us that you did? Like,
I mean, to be fair, some people are hella busy.
That's true.
They ain't got time to chill.
Very true.
Very true.
Very true.
That's
so
very true.
And sometimes they don't feel like it. So make the most of what you got.
Absolutely.
I agree.
Out of all the things you do you have one that you enjoy the most? Or more than another?
No, because I'll go hard at one thing and then I'll hate it and then I'll pick something else and I'll go hard at it and then I'll hate it and I'll pick something else. Like, so I haven't written a script in months, probably since the spring. I've been focusing heavily on like live events in my YouTube channel. And then my YouTube channel wore me out, so then I picked up screenwriting again. Like, I'm always just kind of like in this wave of like what I feel like doing, which I don't know if that's good or not, but that's how I operate. Yeah. So I'm like, I finally started writing again. I was like, oh yeah, I forgot how to do this.
I've been working on a screenplay for like 3 years, but I stopped to finish my book, which will be out in 2020.
Oh shit! Come on, author.
February 20th is the goal. How did you get into screenwriting? Like, were you like always a writer, like in growing up in like school and stuff like that?
When I had writing assignments, I took it like above and beyond. Like, my brain would just fill with like this fully bloomed thing. And kids are just trying to get like just passing grade and just like here, whatever. But I'll just do this whole thing, and I just did too much. And then I had this video game, because I love video games, where like it was like a movie making video game with like these 3D characters, and like you build scenes, you pick your location, you pick your characters, you write a script, they say the thing, and it was the coolest thing. And I've spent hours as a child like making these like digital movies, and I had no idea that I would like full circle as an adult like start doing that. So when I did Sit Black and Relax, I had absolutely no screenwriting training. And to me, I think it shows. Like, season 1, I was like, oh, I could have wrote that way better. But I had like no screenwriting experience. And I just knew like doing my vlog on YouTube, I had so much more to say, but speaking to the camera was very limiting. And so that's what encouraged me to like tell a bigger story. And then I wrote Sit Black and Relax. And then from there, I just got education wherever I could. There's Black film collectives in New York City. Shout out to the Black Film Space and Black TV and Film Collective. YouTube has videos on everything. I've spent hours on YouTube learning screenwriting. Like, you have to learn your craft. Yes. Wherever you can get it. Masterclass, there's like this masterclass series, I don't know if you guys see it, where they teach you how to do like literally anything. Yeah. And so I bought a masterclass and took the Shonda Rhimes class and took the Andy Sorkin class and like learned. Like, you really sit there and learn. And so when I go back and look at my old work, I'm like, look at all the wrong shit I was doing. Like, wow, it was really, so, but I'm glad I can have that growth and look back and be like, okay, I'm growing. Because there's people who show me their scripts and you can tell who practices and who doesn't.
I gotta say though, right? I admire the fact that you still got started even though you didn't have the technique down. Because there's a lot of people who do spend a lot of time learning the technique and never actually get started.
Yeah.
So that's why I still always admire people who are willing to jump in the water and learn how to swim later. You feel me? Because that takes a lot of courage and it's a lot harder. But you end up learning so much more.
Yeah, for sure.
Right. My favorite type of assignments in school were the ones that just have the picture and you have to write a story around it. Those are the best because you really get to flex your imagination.
That's a fact.
And that's been my best work, honestly. I still have some of those, actually.
That's dope.
Welcome, Coco.
Why, thank you. Hello, everybody.
Coco.
Hello.
Hi.
Good evening.
How are
Good
you?
evening.
No sunglasses today.
I know. I feel so strange without them.
You feel
but
like
The pupils are exposed.
now we can see every like emotion she's making.
yes, on my faces.
Y'all
behind
get to
my
film
glasses.
with, y'all get to record with these two bad red bones every week.
Yes.
Every week.
Absolutely.
You feel me?
Of course you gotta make it creepy, like you feel me.
You feel me?
First the bruv, now that you feel me. Pick who you want to be today.
I like
on, man.
bruv. Go back to
Yeah.
bruv. Allow it. Allow
All
it.
right, allow it. fam.
Represent your
Allow it,
people,
fam.
bro. You are Haitian. You are not a bruv.
All right, fam.
Okay, but you
Chill.
know there's like
Stop.
Caribbean people in Europe, right?
Yes,
Very true.
asshole.
So,
Very much so.
like,
Yeah.
You know.
You're a waste man.
Disrespectful.
Caribbean folk are everywhere.
No, waste
Everywhere.
man. Ooh, you're
Too much top boy.
weightless.
Too much top
You're
boy.
worthless.
Can you like kind of briefly explain the premise of sit back? Was it sit black and relax?
Sit black and relax.
I love that title.
That sounds so dope.
Yeah, sit black and relax. I feel black just saying that.
It's pretty much a story about a young adult woman poorly maneuvering her adulthood in New York City. So trying to date, trying to start a career. And then when you're having like a really shaky foundation, a bad footing, just trying to be an adult, you got to add blackness on top of it. So I put my character in these wonky situations. Season 1 is very like heavily race based because I mean we were in the time of like Trayvon Martin, Mike Brown. And so I had so much to say and I had so much emotion to get out. So that one's like super like, here's why white people are annoying. And season 2, I lean more into the blackness. I'm like, I think as black creators, we can get kind of stuck in a cycle of censoring whiteness and why we're upset and the cops and brutality and all, and just like, we can tell literally anything else, any other story. So season 2, I just leaned into getting to know my characters and allowing them to have, you know, usual everyday experiences, just being black. And then when you are in these white spaces, how does your blackness maneuver that? So I think season 2 was fucking popping. It's so fucking dope. So AuroraTV.com to go watch it.
Don't forget. How long does it take you to put your characters together in your head? Because I know for me when I write, I could be working on a character for like 2 years.
No, I can't do that. Because by the time, like... Because I think,
but it doesn't mean I'm not writing the whole time. It just means
Right.
that in that 2 years, the character has done changed like drastically. Like
so that's what I was gonna say. I was like, by the time I had the concept of a character, I think within a 2-year time, they've changed so much. My focus when I'm screenwriting is emotion and story, and I think the characters kind of reveal themselves while they're in a conflict. So I really usually want to focus on a conflict and see if this character has this set of values, how would they handle that, and kind of like discover them, kind of like let them breathe through that way.
Do you build your characters in your head from like the look up, or you just go back off emotion and story, then you figure out your character from there?
Emotion and story first.
See, I'm the opposite.
Yeah.
How much
I
of
work
your personal experiences are embedded into your characters?
A lot of it. I think you have to create from where you are and what you know. Something can come off really fake. That's when you have like white screenwriters writing a story about LaQuisha, and it's just like, why would you do that?
Yeah.
You don't know any black people. You gotta,
Clearly.
Right. You have to write what you know. So I'm currently working on a script that focuses on two women who are friends, and it's literally me split in half. I have like my shadow self and myself, my light, and they have to go on this really treacherous journey together. And so if I didn't know myself, if I wasn't so introspective, I wouldn't be able to create characters that way, because you really have to get into the psyche of, you know, like another human being. You're creating an entire person. And so I think screenwriting it challenges you to be brave enough to really dig deep in yourself and find those wounds or find those like experiences that, you know, you may not be proud to share or you may not want to bring back up, but there's something that becomes super relatable when you allow your characters to feel that deeply, and so other people can relate to it as well.
And I totally agree with that, because I've gotten advice from like songwriters, right?
Yeah.
And they tell me like, all right, like you got the technique down, but you need to make it more vulnerable. The best music is when you feel a little embarrassed to put it out.
Beyonce could sing Resentment for 45 more years, and we will scream just as loud because we know that's like her story. And the way that she sings it, like she's like viscerally in it each and every time, or she's performing as if she is.
I feel that way about Ring the Alarm, not Resentment.
Yeah.
Yeah, like Ring the Alarm to me is like, oh, okay, bitch, like, you keep it up with his little cheating ass. Got you, you gonna keep him high, bitch.
Not
Like,
his little cheating ass.
But I feel like Lemonade, like maybe, I don't know, she has such great body works of art. And I know you love her so much, but do you really think she is iconic as the world makes her to be?
The world makes her to be. She tells us and shows us in every performance and execution.
But she can't act, though.
No, she can't.
I like. What was that movie with Idris Elba? I like that movie.
Obsessed?
Yeah, that shit was so cheesy, but I liked it.
I liked it.
A lot of people like
movies,
Obsessed.
yeah.
I can't, you know what it is?
Sometimes.
I love certain things so much. I love some people so much that I hate when they embarrass themselves on screen. She would tell you, we would watch movies together, and if it's an embarrassing part, I'd be like, okay, I'm gonna walk away.
She'll leave.
I hate to see people embarrass themselves.
She'll leave.
I would dad walk out the room.
I don't think Beyonce embarrasses herself, but she can't be great at everything, and she is not great at acting.
Can I ask?
And we know that.
What do you guys think it is about her acting that's not good? Is it that she's not emotional enough?
Yeah, she's not. There's a place that she's not going
She
to.
don't
I
even-
don't
There's a block
Is she like a
there.
character
There's
of
like a
herself,
wall
like-
there.
You know what it is? It's all Virgos. We are one-way voice. We're very monotone. You really can't really tell how we feel based off some, like the way
How
we
you sound.
talk,
Yeah,
how we
facts.
sound.
You're not giving any tells, in other words.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're not gonna be. It's just the same Houston accent. It's just not going nowhere. Like, you what? You cheated on me? Like, that's it. It's not.
She was from Houston, Africa. So she, I think when it comes to music, that's her vice. Like, that's her lane. And she's very vocally expressive in music, right? Like, she like belts and like does these weird sounds and transitions with her voice. Like, she really uses her voice as an instrument. And now, like, in the latter years of her career, she's really been using her body as an instrument. Like, I haven't seen her like dance so hard and so complex in her entire career. But when it comes to acting, there's something that's just she's just not connecting. It's not connecting. But that's our queen. Let her fail in peace.
You love your
Watch out. That
Beyonce.
beehive
Yeah.
will come and get you.
Yeah, I was gonna ask, like,
That beehive.
how deep are you into the beehive? Like, are you
I'm one of
caping
the-
for everything she does?
No, I know my queen like steals everything. She gets sued all the time for the
Okay,
theft of
long as we
artwork.
know.
The fact that you're
But
calling
see,
her
like,
my
one of-
queen is crazy.
I'm an honest hive. Like, I don't go blind for this shit, right? Like,
Please.
so like she steals from everyone and she steals
She's
everything.
Queen Virgo,
and
though,
I know
so if
that.
you're a Virgo, she's like automatically queen. Like, even I hate to admit it sometimes. I'd be like, yeah, this is the queen.
I
Like,
keep forgetting
yeah,
she's a
fucking
Virgo.
Virgo, bitch. But hey,
I think what I admire is not even her work ethic. I think, us capitalism babies are so obsessed with working hard. I don't want to work hard. I enjoy the vision that she has. Like, she plays such a long game. She doesn't just want a hot single. She comes into things with intention and then puts each and every piece together to maximize the vision that she has in her head, and then works with like the best people in the world to take her vision even bigger and stronger. And then like she'll give you a film, and then she'll give you a live tour, then she'll give you the live recording, and then like she just has such a long game to how
she's
she
like a
wants to
little mini
celebrate
Michael
her.
Jackson.
It's and
She's an all-around
I
entertainer. so.
am an MJ stan. I don't know if he touched them boys or not, but I am MJ stan. But I think she has taken her art to a totally
She
different
surpassed
level.
him because he's that, he
totally
got
different
fucked up
level.
towards the end, but that's what's supposed to happen. They're supposed to pass the baton, and she took it and she ran.
Right, and she takes notes from generations before her to do a tour like that, and then to do a live album. We hadn't seen that since the '90s, a live album. So she just has such vision. It's insane.
How important is vision to the overall determination of anybody's success? Like, how important do you think vision is?
I think it's super important, and I could feel myself like being stagnant. I'm like, it's because I don't have vision. I don't know like where I'm going. Like the car is on, but we're not driving nowhere because I just don't know where I'm going yet. And I'm inspired by my friends like Mouse Jones and my boy Jameer Pond. They've always had vision. They know exactly where they're going, which is why their careers are where they are, because like they can just kind of like steer, you know, like do the event and do these opportunities, but steer where they're going. And so sometimes I kind of just get lost in the shuffle because I do create so much that sometimes it's just like maybe I have to hone it in, but I physically can't. So I'd rather it take longer. Like that's fine because I have to create everything that I'm creating. Like I have to.
Because it's more than just reaching a certain milestone for you. It's about taking your art and leaving it out for the world to see.
Yeah.
Like that's the goal for you, right?
Yeah, I mean, I just have to, like, creating is just like who I am. I have to have my hands in like so many different areas because like my interest, my passions, it just has to live. And so I don't even know if I go into it thinking of like how it's going to be left behind or like necessarily like affect people, but I know that there's just gotta get my hands in and I just have to like make it.
It's like channeling an energy, right?
Yeah.
Do you think if you had a team, it would be a bit more like less, I guess, pressure filled for you, where you're not overexerting yourself, or you're not wearing yourself thin? Like if you had someone to delegate like certain tasks to, and then you would have the final say on it, like.
Yeah, and I think like I admire the team of the Grapevine. Like shout out to Ashley Acuna. She has Donovan Thompson next to her. She has Amanda Scott next to her. She most recently has like Corey Scott next to her, Rakiatu. And these are people that are not just like, you know, sitting behind Ashley with doe eyes and being like, now what? These are people that are coming to her and like, this is where we're going. And they bring her ideas and everybody's moving in the same direction. And with a team like that, you become unstoppable, which is why the Grapevine is where it is. So I've had people around me, but they're kind of just like waiting on my command. And that's not, I had to learn that's not really like what I need. I need somebody to be like, this is where we're going. Let's build it together. And I'll say more when we turn the mics off. I don't want to put people out there like that.
But I feel that, though. You need to work with people who take initiative, right? People who see your vision, but they're helping it move without you having to say go.
Right, because I can't carry everything that I create and y'all.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
Holding hands, you know, it's very difficult to hold hands and build bricks. Yeah.
Absolutely. That's why I'm grateful for y'all. Like, I feel like you have somewhat of a clear vision of what I'm trying to do and my purpose, and it feels good to like have people to lean on, you know. And it's definitely it's been one of the most beneficial experiences in my life, honestly.
Just remember to lean, brother. Just remember to lean.
Yeah, it is hard
lean back.
because as a
Lean
creative,
back a little bit.
as a creative, like it's like you just want to be in control. You can't help it. Like you know what
I'm
you
a
want.
control freak. Yeah.
I think most creatives are control freaks.
Yeah, and that's where I feel like we can clash. And
I think that's the reason we are artists, because we want to control.
Nobody else is in your head. Nobody else
Exactly.
can, you know, put out the vision that you envision.
Creation is the ultimate version of control, in my opinion.
it's all about communication. That's what I need to work on. That's for sure what I need to work on. Just being more expressive, what I want to be done, and what I want to happen. So
Share your thoughts.
Yeah.
We're listening.
Thank you.
Aww, y'all were so sweet to each other too at the panel.
That's because we're recording.
I'm
And we
about
were
to
high.
say, like, we
So-
recorded right now.
I was like, even at the
the
live
panel,
show,
yeah.
the Gotham live show, y'all was all supportive of each other. It was so nice.
We like
We
each
were?
other.
Yeah,
Were we? Yeah, were
I
we?
think you were coming to the mic and they were like, "You could do it," or they were saying like such cute things to you. Like,
They-
Oh,
they-
yeah,
they-
cheering.
That actually gave me the confidence to go
Yeah.
up and ask those questions.
yeah,
Yeah. I don't remember what I
that's
said.
such a special moment.
Oh, I think one of my questions I asked you about like mental health, like because you're by yourself and you're doing this like on your own in a sense, like how does this affect you mentally? Like, do you strive to create every day and sometimes you just don't? You need to take a break?
I do not create every day. Oh my God, no. I've spoken about this several times on my YouTube channel that I've dealt with depression. I think going on 20 years now. Like I've had depression since I was 14, and that can really hinder the creative process. It creates self-doubt, it creates anxiety, it just creates a cloudy brain, and like you just can't muster up like new thoughts and ideas because you're just trying to like get through the day. So there's times where I definitely take a break. I want a creative break like right now, just because like creating can feel endless, especially for somebody like me who doesn't like set specific goals so I can feel like I have achieved something. I'm just constantly like going. So that endless feeling can be taxing too. So I think breaks are important. And I used to fear them because I thought that I would like lose something. If my audience doesn't see me every day, then they're going to forget and I won't be important. And it's just, none of that matters. It really doesn't matter. And anytime that I've come back stronger. So I'm starting to like trust the times where my body's like, it really is time to slow down, like for real. And so I've picked up like a workout regimen and I've been creating more and like all those things started to come to a head and I'm just like, okay, I need to really slow down. But I have been mentally very healthy as of late.
Amazing.
Yeah. Depression was really hard. I think it hit really hard earlier this year. But things have started to come together and I've addressed the issues that were causing the depression and that was really important. And released a lot of things. And so I think introspection and vulnerability and honesty and grace with yourself can really get you out of some dark times.
I couldn't call.
I want to share something with everybody, right? And I think this will also help you, right? Because I've been reading this book, right? It's called Millionaire Habits or whatever. So one of the things he was talking about is about having that vision, right? And figuring out exactly where you're trying to go and how critical that is, right? Because when you know exactly what you want, you're able to deter if this opportunity is for you or if it's not for you, if this person is for you, if it's not for you, right? So there's this thing that that they were talking about. It's called 7 levels deep, right? So it's a writing exercise where you would ask yourself 7 questions, right? The first initial question would be like the main topic, like, for example, why do you want to be successful? Right? And then you would answer that and say, because I want financial freedom. Then the question would be, why do you want financial freedom? So each question digs deeper so you can give a more in-depth answer to that question. So, you know, we all start with that superficial answer to what we want. But as each question progresses, it eventually digs deeper into something that's way more meaningful than that superficial. So I want to share my 7 levels deep with you guys real quick that I did this morning.
You did this in therapy earlier?
No.
Oh.
I did this before therapy. Then I went to therapy and I shared it with my therapist. All right. So the first one was, right, why are you reading Millionaire Habits, right? So I wrote, because I want to be successful. Second question, why do you want to be successful? Because I grew up watching what failure looks like with my father making really poor decisions, and I don't want to end up like my dad. Question 3, why don't you want to end up like your dad? Because he doesn't love his life. My dad settled and gave up the fight to be better. His choice affected my life greatly, and I want to rectify the low points of my life and the people around me, right? Number 4, why does your dad not love his life? Because he's made many selfish decisions. He didn't have a strong enough will to overcome the struggles that he faced in his life. And he feels like a failure as far as a husband and a father, and the guilt keeps him from reaching his full potential. Why did he make so many selfish decisions? Because he wanted the fast track to a good life. He thought he could outsmart the universe and get what he wanted without fighting the good fight. He wanted pleasure more than he wanted a family, stability, and financial comfort. Number 6, how do you truly feel about your dad? I love him because deep down he has a good heart, but I resent him for my life so much, for making my life so much harder. I feel like he could have done so much more to make my life easier by making better decisions, right? And the last thing I said, the last question was, why do you want to be better than your dad? And I said, I don't want to cause the pain he caused others around him. I want to be the best me and have unlimited tools to improve myself and those around me, right? I want to experience everything life has to offer without sacrificing the people around me. I want to be better than my dad because I want to be the man I wish my father was. So that was the ultimate reason behind my whole motivation for the music, for the podcasting, for everything. And I didn't realize that until I did this exercise, because I never asked myself, like, why do I want to be successful? Why do I want to be a well-known musician? Why do I want to influence other people's lives? And that ultimately came to the fact that I want to be the man that I wish my father was.
It's a deep-rooted reason.
Exactly. But I just wanted to share that with the listeners and with you guys. I think it's a great exercise. I think people should use it. It's a great way to find out. Yeah, it's a great way to find out what you really want.
That was a great share, and I think a lot of leaders have spoken to entrepreneurs or creatives and like make sure you're working. Remember your why. And you'll hear that a lot. Like remember your why. And some people's whys are shallow because they haven't done an introspection as deep as that. And they're like, well, I want money and I want fame and I want to take care of my family. And you can lose that very easily because trying to be a creative, you're going to get your ass kicked. It's going to happen. Like, you're going to really get your butt kicked.
And that's exactly what it said in the book, why this exercise is so important, to make that deeper connection, because it helps you fight the good fight. You know, when you're facing your obstacles, you're going to remind yourself what you're really in it for. If it's something as superficial as money, fame, it's not a real motivation, and it's not going to stick to your ribs.
Yeah, which explains why a lot of people are out here and have that and are not happy and don't know why.
Exactly.
Because they skipped that step.
They skipped that step. So many people have skipped that step.
Yeah, I've like looked at all the work I've created over the years, and I've only ever had one intention, and that's for Black people to be well. Like, that's literally that's been my only intention, from Dope Files to the YouTube blogs to the web series to We Shall Overchug to everything I put my hands on is so Black people could be well. And if I could just be a source of encouraging you to heal yourself or to laugh or to have a moment to just like let your troubles down and just let's just kick back and have a good time for this 45 minutes to an hour, like we're going to be good if I can have anything to do with it. That's been my only intention.
I like that. I like that a lot.
Selfless.
Dope-ish.
Dope-ish.
I want to actually try that. I think I need that.
Yeah, man.
Because I feel like I would probably come up with a similar answer. But yeah, I would definitely try that. Sorry?
What?
What happened?
See, we don't actually get it. We're not actually.
I
know what you saw at the live show, but that was all smoke and mirrors.
No, there's no smoke and mirrors.
Weed smoking mirrors.
There's a lot of smoke.
Smoke
Yeah.
mirrors.
I fuck with y'all.
That sound like the fake fuck with y'all. Like, yeah, I fuck with
No,
y'all.
it did not.
Y'all cool.
Why you always going after CR?
CR fuck with us.
But I don't
Huh?
I know CR fucks with us.
Aw.
Oh, just CR?
Oh my God, he's the petty podcaster for real.
real.
What? I'm
Yeah.
just asking. No, but no. Don't
I
do that.
I
Don't do
learned when
that.
it comes to me and Jeff just to be like, okay.
I laughed today because I
But
forgot.
But
I laughed because
I'm
I
learning
said to myself, "You're
what?
problematic, Jeff." You know, wait. I said that to myself
What's
today.
happening here right now?
No. Nothing bad, right?
How am I
But
problematic?
You are though. You like
How?
to stir
Tell
the
me how.
pot. You just like to stir the pot. Like it's funny though.
No, but I feel like you don't look at Lainey the way I do. I feel like she'll say things to like
see how he dance around?
bait me into saying, but she'll know. I feel like she's getting to know me to a point where she'll know what
to
I'm gonna
say
say
to
or
provoke
I'm
you?
gonna react. Yeah.
Like, I know.
So she'll poke the bear a bit.
I agree
The
with that
bear.
a little bit.
The
I
bear.
agree with that a little
You
bit.
mean,
Yeah.
you mean poke the little ferret?
Ooh, you're a
Exhibit
ferret.
A. Exhibit A.
You're a ferret.
Why were you thinking how I'm problematic earlier? Like, what the?
I forgot what we were talking about. Oh, when we were talking about the whole situation in the group chat when I was talking about my ex or whatever, and I was just like, yeah, you know, we're friends, we're not together anymore.
Oh, yeah, this
blah, blah,
guy,
blah.
I
And then he was
swear.
like, but I heard you about to introduce her and be like, oh, that's my girl. And I'm just
were.
like, all right, but Jeff, that had nothing to do with anything.
But it was funny.
But it was funny. But that's an example of you being
Yeah, he
problematic.
loves picking things apart.
You were being problematic.
Can y'all learn to take a joke, please?
But we said
Like,
it was
for
funny, but it was
did
funny.
say it was
I'm
funny.
saying it's funny,
We
but
just
it's,
like to get on you later, that's all.
Yeah,
do.
but it is what it is. It's funny.
It's not gonna stop.
We know this.
not gonna
Yeah,
stop.
this is what I mean.
We're clear
Nobody's
on that.
attacking you. Nobody's attacking.
I'm just
Clear
saying.
on that.
Yo, all right, Joe. Fucking petty podcast.
That's
He
why I
has
gave
to
myself
own
the
his
nickname.
name.
God damn it, bro.
Gotta own it.
You know what? Let's all give Jeff a nickname right now. I feel like we should do a poll or something.
I think we should do that another time because we have a guest. So like we're kind of focusing on the guest tonight, but we could do that
I
after
was
the
even
how
podcast.
you
telling her to give you a
divert.
nickname, like, but okay, Mr. Petty Podcaster.
I just don't
all
want the attention
Okay,
on me.
Hefe,
That's what
let's
it is.
go. Bye.
All right,
Anyway.
Nah, go ahead. What was the first nickname? Go ahead.
No,
Say it.
now he wants to do it now.
Killed the
baby.
vibe.
It's
You
over
just
now.
killed it.
Killed it.
It's over.
Jeff.
That's Vibe Killer. That's what the new nickname
That's the new
is.
nickname.
Vibe
Hey,
Killer.
Vibe
Yes.
Vibe killer.
Yes.
Bitch,
Are
you
you
killed my
enjoying the
vibe.
vibe so far?
I am enjoying the vibe so far.
We got wine and stuff.
Yeah, I do.
I think too much
I have
actually.
questions
Peanut
because, you know,
Grigio
you're
and
such a
Chardonnay.
strong, powerful black woman. Like, how do you deal with some of the myths of black women today? They have this thing where we cannot be, we're not submissive. We're too angry. We have too much attitude. And it's like the same things they praise us for, they eventually hate us for. How do you feel about that?
Talk about it.
I mean, on my side of Twitter, I feel like my black ladies talk about that daily. Shout out to my queens, Janicia and Queen from the Tea with Queen and J podcast. They are Black womanist race nerds, and I was listening to their podcast today, and they break down the capitalistic patriarchal society bullshit all the time. They teach me so much weekly. I feel like we should be aware of the bullshit, but not feed every single thing our anger. That takes so much attention and time and energy when really we could just be giving that energy back to ourselves and just let people be ignorant. They're ignorant. The information is out there. If they wanted to learn, they could learn. We don't have to constantly overexert ourselves to everyone who hates us, because that's going to be a long line. We have to we're going to have to start putting ourselves first. So, I don't know. Black women are changing the tides. We're demanding respect. We're changing social norms and social cues about us, and we've been extremely vocal about that in any area. So you gonna get it, but I just hope Black women would save that grace and that love for themselves.
What are some of the myths of Black women that the stereotypes they put on others that you face every day as you come out here and you're in the industry, you're trying to be a successful screenwriter, and you're trying to make these marks where your people will know your name? How are you going to react to certain things when it starts to happen to you in a more profound way? Like what Ava DuVernay, when she just did the Netflix movie, and the great movie, everything is great, all the Emmys, but now all this backlash, not from our people, but from white America.
I'm sorry. So Ava's getting backlash.
The backlash,
from a movie?
it was
when they see us.
When they see us, there was the whole thing about how she's getting sued by a private investigation, who was also involved with the whole film, or involved with the original properties of the crime. Mm-hmm. How are you going to be prepared to deal with stuff like that if it happens to you, or just deal with the backlash of your artwork?
I've thought about that several times, and I'm like, do I take the Beyonce route and like not say anything? Do I like do an apology, but like real, not like Gina, Rodriguez?
Somebody gotta fuck her up.
What'd you say?
Somebody gotta fuck her up.
Oh,
That's
I
not
heard
nice.
something else completely.
She's really not worth a fight. She's really not worth a fight. I think the woke tides are changing, and non-Black Latinx people are starting to learn that the N-word is not for them as well. So I don't know. I think that's not something that I can really hypothesize, because I don't know what backlash on that magnitude would personally feel like for me. At this point, I am learning to divest from people pleasing and making everyone happy, because even when I make YouTube videos, like I get so many hate comments, especially when I'm defending trans people. That was my next question.
Like, have you dealt with backlash for Sit Black and Relax?
Sit Black and Relax, no, because I've said worse things on my vlogs. So people have like made like dedicated hate videos. This one kid tweeted me. He's like, hey, just Latasha, watch this. And he made a video.
That was his voice?
And that's how he sounds to me. Like, if I imagine him, like, speaking like that. Like, smells like Mountain Dew. Like, he's just weird. The cover of the video was, like, me and my face engulfed in flames. And I'm like, he had, like, 99 views. And I was like, I'm actually not going to help you break 100. So be good out there, bro. I just left it alone. Like, at first it really bothered me to like have people like disagree or like be against me, because that I just feel like it triggered something that like needs to be like likable and agreeable, and like women are disillusioned to be that way. And so now I'm just, you could turn like your phone off, and none of it exists anymore. Like that is just so
powerful.
It's so powerful. So like, there are some videos I'm like, I ain't gonna read the comments, and they literally don't exist.
I think that's a great method, honestly. And I think, I know when I reach that level, I'm gonna use the same shit, because there's some people who torture themselves reading through all those comments, trying to, reply. It's not worth it.
When I see the celebrities retweeting something that they weren't added on, I'm like, you're
fishing.
Bored.
You're totally sucked into this.
You're fishing.
You're sitting here Googling and researching your own name.
Yes. I think that happens every day.
How much editing do you do, or filtering of yourself? Like, have you ever said something during a recording of a YouTube video and like listening it back in the editing room, you're like, maybe I should cut that out?
Yeah. But that doesn't happen often. I think as much as I've spoken over the years, I know like what I want to say. So that doesn't really happen. And I don't think now I'm like editing myself. I'm just not giving white people like all of my time. Like back in my early YouTube days, everything was about like racism and what they're doing to us and the oppression and all of that. And that's just so much energy to exert to whiteness. So I crafted my channel to hone more and focus more on like Black stuff, and that's just something that I can speak freely about.
And the name, where did the just come from before Latasha? Is it?
Yeah, that was a reminder to me that the key was always with me. Like all you had to do was be yourself, and that was one of my goals, is to be hired to be me. And so I didn't want to, and it still happened anyway, but I didn't want to think I had to be something in order to be successful or to be desired by an audience or to, to be valuable. It's just like, nah, just be you, just Latasha. And that was just the key to me. Were you
like, maybe on YouTube or like looking at other interviewers in your process of like just starting out, and like who are you inspired by? Like were there people you still follow to this day? Or maybe if you got lucky enough to meet them, you don't follow them as much anymore? Like, I'm constantly on the internet, so I don't know if I have like inspirations, but I know that I do value so many people's opinions. Like my boy Justin J, T with Queen and J, Jackie Aina, the way she proudly on her huge platform speaks so confidently and so openly about racism and protecting Black women in Hollywood and entertainment industry and beauty industry. Julesy, like all these Black women are just like saying whatever the fuck they want. Yeah,
Julesy.
Really
She's
smart.
She's the first person I ever saw on YouTube. Like, that made me start watching YouTube. Following all these great Black women on YouTube who has these great videos and everything like that.
Yeah. It took me a long time to like find my voice and find myself, because I was like, I'm gonna try to be like Kid Fury, or I'm gonna try to be like Fran, or I'm gonna try to be like and it just never fit. And so once I just put everybody else's personalities down, I was like, all right, this is who I am. So I can listen to just Latasha. So I can listen to everybody's opinion while not having to pick it up for myself.
How much of a fan are you still of other people's interviews? Because for me personally, like I listen to podcasts so different nowadays. Like I listen from like a perspective not as a fan anymore, as like an equal. And like I feel like I could do better than the people I was a fan of. So I'm curious if you're kind of in that similar mindset.
I love what my friends do. I really just love what my friends do, and the places that they've gotten themselves have been intimidating and inspiring. Like, I've just been like, oh, shit, how the fuck did they get there? And how the hell am I going to get there? And I'm like, but they got there, so why are you so different? And then I calm down. So I'm proud of my friend Mandy from Horrible Decisions. I'm proud of Ashley and Aisha and Uchechi, and, like, all my people are just doing, Jeff J, everybody are just doing such amazing, amazing, amazing things. And the fact that I'm in it, like I'm right next to all of my friends who are doing amazing things, there's absolutely no reason why I can't achieve like the places that I wish to go. So it's both. It's going to be scary and inspiring at the same time.
I don't know if I want to go Europe or skirt, because you was just like on point just now. Like, that was so awesome. It's just like Europe, skirt.
Both, do both. Yeah.
You know?
Cover all bases.
Because like you're so freaking awesome, and I feel like there's not that many people. And then you're from New York, and I feel like sometimes in New York we lack genuinity. Like that's not like genuine people in New York. It's a facade. It's a whole bunch of fake shit going on. People will sit there and say, "Oh yeah, I support you," then go up and like, "Yeah, that shit alright. It's not really for me." But
there's no action behind it.
There's no action behind it. Like we do a lot of fake love in New York, so it's just like it's so.
New York is very industry, and people are introducing themselves by their platforms and by their numbers, and
not the soul anymore. I feel like I would love to meet people out there who are just being themselves, and it's not like a hidden agenda.
Yeah.
But it's so,
in this this is the industry. Like, it's going to be that until you get to a place where people are like, oh, I'll talk to you now. Like, I go into rooms and people will ignore me still until they look at my work and then they're like, oh, well, hey. Just like I think people play like a very small-minded and short game. Like, you should walk into a room respecting everybody. Yes. So that's going to be here, Atlanta, LA, like Houston. If it's industry, people are going to like, it's going to be that way.
Real quick, speaking of Atlanta, because did you recently hear about the a lot of missing black girls between Atlanta and DMV? What do you think is up with that? I've been hearing a whole lot of like sex trafficking and
Yeah, I think it's
I've
sex
been hearing
trafficking.
We
that
were
too.
talking about that last week.
yeah,
right?
and
Sex
because you
trafficking.
know in New York, there's like I hate to talk about this, but we were saying before, there's a group of women in this area like trying to recruit you to go to church.
And you know what's so
but
scary?
specifically women.
But it's specifically women, and
Women
we was
recruits,
outside just
yeah.
watching them for a while. They're not going to like older women or they're going to like young girls and shit like that. And just like, and she even after she was like, I'm like, well, I work till 10. She's like, well, come after 10. I'll come get you. And it's just like, what church is open till 11 o'clock at night, lady? Like,
You know what's
Talking
so
about they want to
scary?
teach you about
Remember
Christian
that
Passover. What's that?
Remember that same
Oh, a
day
Christian
that
Passover.
we went to Penn Station and they were out there?
Yes,
Yeah,
that's
that's
what
when
we
we had.
talked about,
I was
yes.
So
pointing
let
it
me tell
out
you
to her,
something.
and then we started
You
seeing
know what's
more
so
of
scary?
it.
The next day when I took my uncle out to see Black and Blue, we were talking. He was telling me how he was in Jersey City and some shit, and they were doing the same thing around my little cousin Samaj.
Yeah.
And
Now
it was
you're gonna
just-
see it everywhere.
Oh.
And,
Really,
I didn't even bring it up. He was saying the exact same shit. He was like, "Yeah, man, I know that sex trafficking shit's going on. There's people pretending to take these girls to church or some shit." And I'm like, "Yo,
Yeah.
that's fucking crazy. Like, it's really happening."
It's one of the scariest things because you can't. It's something that you can't control, and it can be so close to you. Like so many girls in
Wouldn't
New
even
York
know.
are gone. So
Yeah.
many girls in
Wouldn't
New
even
York
know.
are gone, and it's just like, ugh.
Shit
It's
is
just it
sick.
can
Shit's
happen
happening in plain
anybody.
sight. It's-
That's
Right.
the, and
Yeah.
that's
It's
the
the scary
thing.
part, yeah.
And I think not for nothing, right? Like, not for nothing, right? But I think it's so crazy that it's women recruiting other women too. Like
Right.
nobody's like, whether if you're a male or female, it's wrong. But god damn, like for real, another chick. You know what I'm saying?
It's like
just,
a black slave hunter.
yeah, the two who
Yeah.
approached me when I first saw them, like I saw them look at each other and was just, then they looked at me and I was just like, who are these two fucking ex-crackheads?
Well, they definitely looked. They looked hard up around the edges
It was
there.
just like,
yeah.
y'all look like two ex-crackheads. Yeah, because you know, my thing, I'm not skeptical about church, but I know who goes to church.
who don't?
And who don't go to church, and most people who go to church is people who need that extra help and that extra will to keep going on in life. And it's just like when I saw them, I was just like, no, she was like, but no, we could come get you after. I'm like, you can't come and get me after 10 p.m. Like, I don't, like, what church is open at 10 p.m.?
But just the whole concept recruiting somebody to come to your
And then
church,
you sit
that
here
right
and
there
tell
doesn't
me-
settle with my spirit.
Yeah.
Just hearing that, I'm like,
Christian
what?
Passover, the religion of Mary Magdalene. I was so
That's exactly what they were
confused.
saying.
I'm like, Mary
Yeah.
Magdalene, but I have to remember her correctly. I don't know. I know she was Jesus' right-hand man, but she was a hoe also. So,
But that's perception.
going on? Yeah,
that's
perception.
so. How do we really know that?
True, too, but don't come to me with that because it's just that I'm going to, again, it was just, oh, you trying to make me a hoe.
She wasn't a
I
hoe.
see
She
it.
was Mary the
Yeah,
Stallion.
Again.
Is there a resolution to that? How do we end that? Is there a light at the end of the tunnel in a sense? Because it's like it's in plain sight, right? They're posing as something else, but it's really something darker. Like, is there a
There's
way
a lot
to?
of things in life. That's not
That's just
bad.
gonna take
Exactly,
awareness.
yeah.
That's just gonna take awareness
Gotta
and,
put awareness,
and
yeah.
helping each other. Like
It's like the opioid crisis. It's not going to really, they're not going to really care about the little white girls go missing.
That's right.
I feel like with a situation like this, you can't look to rectify the perpetrators. I think you can only try to educate the victims and the prospects, right? Try to tell them what to look out for, what to avoid. Because these people who are doing this are going to keep doing it. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're going to find a way to keep making it happen. But at least if we could find, young females and educate them on the signs, like, that's a huge sign. That church situation, like, somebody needs to go on social media and make that like a meme or something.
But they are. Like,
Okay,
there are
good.
like there are people out there
Good.
who's, like, writing about it and
Good.
talking about it.
Good.
Well, not the church situation, just, like, within the DMV Atlanta area, the stuff that's happening out there.
yeah, and they had like job recruits and like send your resume and come meet us for an interview and all that stuff. That's all sex trafficking.
Jesus.
They watch
Scary.
after you. Actually, like, you come after
Wow.
the store, they, like, watch your car. They try to block
Yeah.
you in and shit like that.
That's so fucked up.
Just that
Jesus.
awareness, like that street smart. Like, I feel like you gotta. That's not something you can gain. You gotta be embedded with that. Like, you gotta be taught that, like, growing up, and like then it'll grow with you as you get older. So, I think that's definitely something I plan to do when I eventually have kids. If I eventually have kids, like, to embed that awareness and just like that. that shit ain't right. Shit, let them know like straight up, like immediately, that shit isn't always sweet out here. Like you got to be aware. You got to be careful.
But also, yeah, even as strangers, we got to stop minding our business. Like you see somebody that you don't know.
Yes.
You see
Like
some
you
fucked
gotta
up
step
shit,
up
yeah.
and say something or warn somebody. Like you can't just be like, I don't know, that's shady over there, but I guess she all right. Like,
That's the
she's not
bystander
all right.
effect. That's the bystander effect. Where
Yeah.
people see something happening and they don't do anything because they think somebody else will step up.
What was that show on Prime TV? What would you do?
I think
Oh,
so.
yeah.
Yeah.
What would you, I feel like when I started watching that show, it was just like, okay, let me not get caught up out here like that, because it was a little embarrassing to see people blatantly walk by like a woman getting abused and shit like that, and she was just like, wow, people really are like.
You see that
Wait,
though.
my
You see
business.
things
Was it like
that all
scripted
the
events
time.
and they were testing like
They
strangers?
were testing like the people,
an
like
experiment.
strangers. Yeah, it was experiments.
That's crazy. And these shits make it worse. The phones, like,
Oh, yeah.
everyone's just, no one's looking up. Like, not even when they're crossing the street, they're looking down.
And some people are looking at their phones so they can
Dopamine.
record what the fuck's going on.
I'm looking the fuck
That's
up.
the thing.
I'm
Dopamine,
smoking.
That's
as I'm
You
sick.
quick to pick up. You
Sick.
quick to pick up your phone and record. Your ass could have dialed 911 in that phone.
It's all for a
Not
moment.
for
Like, everyone's
nothing.
chasing a moment.
I do feel like if you're a certain age or a certain generation, like especially if you're from like the inner city or whatever the case is, you're just programmed without knowing to mind your business. Especially in New York, I've walked by some shit and be like, nah, I can't get involved.
And
today.
I was just about to say, because that happened to me too, right? One time I was coming from North real late, right?
Wait, I'm sorry. You said North Newark.
Yeah.
Okay, because your Jersey accent came out. I
Oh,
couldn't.
yeah.
Newark.
Newark.
I was like, damn, he got that Jersey accent.
Yeah.
As a Jersey resident, you
No,
would know what
no.
a Jersey accent sounds like.
Not Newark.
Yeah, but North
petty podcast.
I was coming out of North and I was coming from Shorty's crib or whatever. And it was like 2 a.m.
Creeping.
Humble brag.
Yeah. So I hopped in the whip and I'm getting ready. Well, I'm walking towards my car and I see this older Hispanic dude. He's probably like in his early 40s walking. And then there's like 3 teenage black guys walking behind him. And he's walking. And one of them grabs this motherfucker and throws him on the ground. And then they start jumping his ass. And he's like yelling for help. And I'm not even gonna lie, I got in my car and I drove away.
Well, yeah, you can't. Mo, you can't
But-
put yourself in.
But
that
that's
right.
why I say I can relate to what Lainey was just saying, because in that moment, survival
Yeah.
came into my mind. I was self-preservation, and I'm not ashamed to say that shit. I'm putting myself
Because it doesn't
first.
help for you to get beat up too.
That's what I'm saying. Or you don't know what the fuck they have on them. It's
And that was
ignored.
my
But you didn't pull out your camera and start
Oh
videotaping. is
no!
what
I
I'm
got
saying.
in my car and skirt.
In my situation, I was leaving somebody's car and I was walking back to my house and I just saw this girl like leaving the house and she was walking. She was like, you could tell when somebody a bitch mad, she was at the house pissed off. This naked Hispanic little short thing come running out the house and he dead like I'm trying to like, you know, he's like, wait girl, and I see him like kick up and he did like a real karate shit, drop kick the ass on the floor. And I just see them
And he's
scuffle.
naked?
He's naked, butt ass naked.
That is
Like
crazy.
you could tell she left out the house and her like she was like pissed off, and they scuffle on the floor. And I'm just like, oh, bitch, y'all do this. Like I'm going home. Like this is because at the end of the night he carried her. Like as I'm walking looking back, I see she went up and she walked right back to the house with him.
So in those moments, right? How do we distinguish when it's all right to get involved and when you have to just walk away? How do you know when it's the right situation, right? Because I felt kind of bad that I didn't call 911 even after I got in my car and felt very safe. I felt like I should have called 911,
And even calling the cops is unsafe.
but exactly
Yeah.
why I didn't call the cops, because I know for a fact that means I'd have to be a witness. You know what I'm saying? They always trace your number back, so if this would have escalated, I'd have to...
Not even that, but these cops, you call the cops to de-escalate a situation, they end up killing somebody else. So it's just like they don't even come to help and assist or de-escalate. They come to murder, and it's just like, all right, do I try to stop this problem or do I kill a guy? Like, what are my options here? So I mean, I don't think you should put yourself in danger, but how can we best provide safe assistance for somebody else?
Yes, without risking ourselves. Like, how do you do that? Like, that's a real question.
The cops will kill
Especially
you in
if
your
live
own
in the
home.
hood.
Oh hell yeah.
They'll kill you. Literally, we saw that woman, was it a month ago? Like, literally killed her in her home. The neighbor called to do like a check. What was it? I don't know what the exact term was. Like
Wellness
a wellness check.
This is Texas.
Yeah. And fucking shot her in her own crib.
Shit's crazy out here, bro. I can't believe it sometimes.
What do you think you'll do next time?
Shit. Get
I
in
think
my
every
car and
situation
skirt,
is
skirt.
different.
Case by case situation.
I'm gonna get in my car and
Yeah,
skirt.
case
Case by case. I guess you gotta like read the energy. You gotta observe and just see where it goes. And then if you feel like it's gonna be okay, then be out.
I tell you this, bruh, and I keep it real. I'm not a hero. I don't, you know what I'm saying?
It's
I'm
not your job. Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm not a hero. Like, I would risk my life for people that I love, but I wouldn't give my life for people that I love. You get what I'm saying? Like, I'll risk my life and I'll take that chance, but I'm not going to willingly put myself in danger. You know what I'm saying? It just doesn't go with my natural instincts.
But we're talking about strangers, not people you love.
Even
so, like,
fucking, especially strangers.
I feel like you would be more inclined to help someone you love.
That's what I'm saying. So if I'm telling you that I would risk myself for somebody, but I wouldn't give my life away for somebody that I love.
He's not jumping in front of the bullet.
I'm definitely
if
not.
It's gonna hit the heart. If it hit his arm or leg, he got you.
Right.
I appreciate that, man.
Yeah. Basically what Lainey said. As long as I'm not dead and losing a limb or end up blind.
He's all right.
How many bullets would you take from me in the arm, though? Like
in the arm?
Yeah, how many, though? Like,
2. Max.
Okay.
One each arm.
One each arm.
He's
Max.
so sure about it.
They get on that third one, I'm like, all right, son.
I'm good, son.
I'm like, yo, let me just escape right quick. Like, just
Be like,
take one more, bro.
Yo,
like,
Jeff, I tried.
So you can escape. Oh,
I'm joking. Why would I just leave when nigga took 3 bullets from me in the arm? Like,
I know, you look like a runner.
I did run track. I can run pretty fast. I could run to the nearest precinct, come back.
I feel like that
be
too.
like,
Lady, I feel like if we get into some shit,
Let's take
right?
a run it.
I feel like Jeff
I
is
feel like
gonna
we turn around, he's
be
already
out. I feel
gone.
like he's gonna be out,
Jeff.
yo.
Where Jeff at?
And I feel like that's just gonna be his natural instinct. Just
Young
like,
niggas is like,
Self-preservation. Man.
Self-preservation.
There's different
young
levels.
niggas is like, no
Like, I know who to
faith.
rob a bank with and who not to rob a bank with. Like, you know who to do certain shit with.
I'm not robbing a bank with Jeff.
no.
Hell no.
Why are we robbing the bank anyway?
Exactly why we wouldn't rob a bank with Jeff.
Exactly
Because he'd
why.
be asking questions like that.
Shit.
Why are we robbing this bank?
Like, Frankie, you said you and nobody was going to get hurt.
That's exactly what I'm thinking in my head.
That's
Set it
why
off.
we gonna make
Clearly,
it.
you
That's
didn't
why
watch
we-
Set It Off.
That's why we're gonna make it legally, so we don't have to have people worry about these scenarios. We're gonna be safe. Podcasters don't get jumped out here. Podcasters don't get attacked. At least I don't think. I hope not.
Charlamagne was getting his ass out here, ran out.
He ain't a
from the streets.
podcaster.
I
Well,
mean,
he
he's on the
is, but-
radio. Like, it's the same, not the
Yeah,
same thing,
he's
but
been on the radio for a long
same
time.
nature.
But Charlamagne got a reckless mouth. Though.
I mean, what you
Yeah.
think Jeff is going to be in a few years?
Damn.
He's building
Get
Wait,
him right.
what, you mean like when I'm like on?
Right.
No, when you on, it's going to be horrible.
Damn,
horrible.
you
Damn.
low-key are like the entry level of Charlamagne.
No, don't do that. No, I'm not. No. I'm not disrespectful.
entry level.
He's disrespectful. Like I'm not. Like I'm like respectable with my penniness. Like
I feel like when you get in your bag and
Like
you
when
got
you're
that
talking to
money,
the kids and shit.
I feel like you are, because look how, remember how he was judging at the show?
That's what
Wait,
I just
wait,
said.
what show? What
he
show?
missed. Y'all missed it. I said when you
show.
talking
Wait,
to the
what's
kids
the
and shit.
nigga, I was a
He's
judge.
lying,
Of course
right?
I'm judging. What the fuck you talking about?
He had a show
Listen,
recently.
listen,
and we
listeners.
was the judges, right?
Fill her in, yeah.
And it was this. I thought it was I won't say cute. They was what's the new term these days? Bopping? I don't know the fuck.
Lit? You thought it was
They
lit?
bopping, I
You
don't know.
thought it was
They
lit?
was lit. Like
They
they
was
was
lit.
lit.
There
They was
you
lit.
go.
They
Which I
they
said
was
in the
lit.
beginning.
They reminded me of like Flatbush Zombies, Joey Badass, ASAP Crew, all types of shit. This nigga goes to the mic and says, "I didn't come here to watch the little kids perform. Watch a bunch of little
my
kids
God.
dancing,
Jump up and down.
jump up
Oh,
and down."
That came
Is
out
what
by
he said.
accident.
And you felt the energy in the room shift.
Everybody-
Everybody just went. You felt everybody felt like everybody
And I
just
give-
went like, what the
And then-
fuck
And
I
just
stood by it.
happened?
Coco
Like,
for the save, because if it wasn't for Coco, they would have whooped his ass.
Oh my
in
Nobody
the-
would. All right, but all right. So,
all right,
but let's
all
just.
right.
But let me point this. Like this is an artist showcase, right? The artist performing was Killer KC. As he ascends higher, his name is going to be the only name on the bill. It's not going to be KC and Friends. It's not going to be KC and JoJo.
Maybe it's Killer
like, I
Casey,
Listen.
then Killer Doo-Wop,
So
and then
I'm
Killer-
judging him. I want to judge him solely alone. I couldn't even see him. Niggas wearing the same shit. Like I couldn't even tell which one was him at some point.
Shit.
So I was. I
I
wanted.
rock out with you. Listen, y'all. I'm fucks with y'all.
I started with love though. I loved the performance.
They
And then
turned
they
that
came.
whole thing into a club for about 5-10 minutes.
They did.
It was a whole vibe. I'm not into their stuff, but I would actually listen to it because that's how energetic it was. And that's what I took it from. Like, took
That
from
little
it
kid
rather.
comment came out by accident. That was like the old nigga
But-
talking to me. Like,
And that's exactly
came
what you
out.
said too. I don't want to be the old guy complaining and stuff, but I don't want to see no little kids jump around the stage and stuff.
I didn't mean to do it, and I apologized to them afterwards, and they were fine with it. I think
Yeah.
till Laney started talking to the other dude about his teeth. Like then
And you even got that conversation wrong.
I did get it wrong.
Let's
'Cause
swing
I
back to the
said,
guests,
yeah.
y'all. We getting sidetracked. Let's swing
Word.
back to the guests.
I'm sorry.
Come on, y'all. She twiddling her thumbs over here. She like, all right, niggas. How was it there?
How has 2019 been for you? Like, have you accomplished any goals that you set for yourself in the beginning of the year?
No.
None.
No. This year was actually full of rejection. It was the most rejection I've ever faced in my life. I think
Protection is God's protection.
I guess, girl. It really was crazy, and the people that I tell that was like, yeah, this is like isolation year. This is get to know yourself, settle down, take the L's, and then rebuild. Like this is the time where like the universe is literally making you isolate yourself and like really just focus on what you're doing.
Plant your seeds and harvest.
Yeah, so I was shooting at a lot of things. I wanted to be a part of a lot of stuff. I mean, when I say zero came through, zero all year. And then towards like the fall season, things started to like come back to my way and like come back into fruition. So I've been chilling out on my own personal stuff, taking a creator's break, and then just kind of bringing it back to gratitude for the things that I do get, and not like worried about what I don't have, where I'm not, because you can definitely get caught up there as a creator.
I think that's important to recognize the ebbs and flow of the universe, right? Because not everything could always be running at a high capacity.
Yeah.
Right? Eventually,
or running smoothly.
Right. Eventually, what goes up must come down, right? So, like, you know, I feel like that's the biggest part that like every successful person talks about when they're talking about embracing the struggle and enjoying the process. Because in those low moments, it's like, all right, cool, fuck it. This is low, but I know my high's about to be like super high when it gets there.
I ain't feel that shit. I was feeling them lows. I was like, this is wild. I hate this.
Are you the type of person who prefers to work in the group and not solo with certain projects? Like, do you feel like you need another person there? And certain things? Like, would you?
No, it takes me a long time to ask for help. I usually just, whatever I want to do, I usually just start doing myself, because I don't know, waiting for other people or trying to get it all together. By the time I didn't ask y'all a million questions, I would have had it in process already. You know what I mean? But that's just not the healthiest way. So I have been trying to be more collaborative as of late. So we'll see what happens. I want to definitely collab with a ton of creators moving forward.
What was one thing that you wanted this year that you will have next year?
I can't say what I will have.
I was putting it out there for you, but
thank you. I don't know. I'm kind of in between the whole like speak it into existence versus God will have his way with you. Like, I don't know, like, because you can say this is what's going to happen to me, because I've been saying that for 2019, and everything that I wanted and spoke over and said was an L. So I don't know. I know I want to definitely be producing some other stuff next year. I'm producing stuff that I haven't quite done yet. This will be like a new thing for me, so that is what I'll be focusing on.
I have a question.
Yes.
So do you think there's a correlation with that sense of that sense of getting all these L's and you kind of not having a particular path that you're sticking to? Because maybe it's because
the universe doesn't know what to give you.
That, and you're spreading yourself thin, right? Because maybe if you were to concentrate like 80% of your focus onto one particular thing, it'll manifest a lot faster than if you were to have 25. If you had 20% on 5 different things, you get me?
Yeah, no, I get it. That's like the whole man with many hats, or
but do you feel
jack
like
of all trades.
But do you feel like that's a factor for you?
I don't know, because I look at Issa Rae. She's a rare commodity. I mean, most of her focus has been like doing like her series, or like making like web series, which turned into a show, and then she gets into movies, and now she's doing like the radio. Like, she's kind of doing like one at a time. But there are some not Issa Rae, Childish Gambino. Okay. That's a much better example. He does stand up, and he does comedy writing, and he does his music, and he does acting, and like he just does it all, and he does it so effortlessly. And I think I feel cheated when I'm asked to, or telling myself that I have to do one thing. Yeah. So I'm just trying to figure out how to execute the multiple things that I do.
I have a question though. Daily. Do you think I feel like that's probably perception though, right? Because when it comes to media and entertainment, it's really easy to seem like everything's happening seamlessly, right? Because you know what I'm saying? You don't know how long he could have been working on that show, how long ago he could have recorded that album, or how, you know what I'm saying, or how long ago he's came up with that comedy skit. You know what I'm saying?
But the fact that they all exist, I think, is really what I'm getting at.
And I get that, but I think the creation though,
Yeah.
then it all happened at once.
Yeah,
That's my point.
And I'm also not doing everything simultaneously.
Okay.
I
Like
agree with
I'm
you.
going in and out of
Donald
creations.
Glover is like a Childish Gambino. Donald Glover, he's like a rare special case because he was in Columbia University when Tina Fey discovered him, and then he started writing for her, and then he got onto the Community. After that, a little bit, then he did his first mixtape, which is the Cul-de-sac, and then everything kind of transpired from there. I do feel like he goes in and out between writing, screenplays and shit like that, and then doing music back and forth. I don't think he's doing everything all at once. I do think he takes the time to do. Right now it's screenwriting, and the next time is Childish Gambino. I don't think he's dropped any music recently, besides the Redbone.
He did the Lion King, and I think now he's working on next season.
Oh yeah,
of
the
Atlanta.
Lion. See, I don't know why I count that Lion King out. That Lion King doesn't exist to me at all.
Did almost
Look
$2
at
billion.
her face.
It exists.
Not to me at all. Like the first Lion
You didn't like
King.
the soundtrack?
the
Did you
first-
listen to the soundtrack?
I'm not going. I've heard like I'm not just. Sorry.
I think he did Star Wars and Lion King back to back. Like, we're kind of.
I'm all for Star Wars. I love that whole shit. But the Lion King, I cannot give that any
And that was the
air.
thing. And then he had a Coachella set.
Yeah, I can't give Lion King. Did you watch Lion King?
Mhm.
Did you enjoy it?
I did enjoy it. I enjoyed it a lot, and I really like the soundtrack because I don't usually look for South African artists or international artists, and I think that album was a great opportunity.
That's another thing. She didn't even use like that many South African artists, but
The sound was
Ma-
there.
yeah, majority.
the sound was there, yeah, but the artist wasn't, and that was like the big uproar with it. Because I actually do listen to all African music, like I listen to Naja B and all that shit. So it was just like the people who I was expecting to be on the soundtrack were just like, oh, okay, like they're not
They
there,
didn't
but
give no shine to them.
but.
Wait, are we expecting that because, like, why are we
And
expecting
I wasn't
that?
expecting anything. Like when it comes to the whole Lion King project, I don't even. I just
Not
said,
you in particular,
it
but I'm
doesn't
I'm
exist. But the
asking, I
people
guess.
were no Africa itself. They were expecting. That's like the same thing with when Black Panther came out, and Kendrick Lamar did the soundtrack. Everybody, like people in Africa, were saying how come they didn't use some of the music from their artists to go on the soundtrack.
Representation is all we want. I feel like even when like Scarlett Johansson, she did the Ghost in the Shell, was a Japanese anime film, like, but she's a white lady. You know, we just want representation, and I think that's why the uproar was apparent.
But I think my question is, if the Black Panther soundtrack didn't really use African artists, that was upset. And then if Beyonce didn't use African artists from this subset of Africa, then they was upset. Like, why do we need artists from a particular place in Africa versus who she used?
Let me tell you something. We're not going to get into my real opinions about the whole African and then the whole Black American conflict and the whole plight because I don't agree.
But she didn't have. But it wasn't Black American artists. It was mostly like.
I'm just going by based off what I've read and what the uproar is.
Yeah.
And my thing, what I just said was my honest opinion about how I feel about the whole thing itself is not something I will ever say on air.
But you're talking about diaspora wars between Black Americans and continental Africans.
Yeah, like
I'm not talking about that because she used African, like from the continent, African artists. So I'm asking, why aren't we accepting the African artists she did use? Why should it have been another set of African artists?
I'm not the one with the uproar. I'm just, like I said, I was saying what I have read
Yeah.
from the blogs and the articles about how there was a big uproar about her, that particular album, how they felt like she didn't use a big representation of Africa.
Yeah, I don't get it.
That's it. That's all I was saying.
No, I was asking because you were bringing the info to the conversation that what you read. So I was asking what that information was. You know.
Okay.
Well, I like the album.
Yeah,
I like
it was
Brown
a
Skin
cool
Girl.
It was a cool album. My friend made me hate that song.
But I didn't see the movie just because like the original is too close to home. You know, I feel like it's just not gonna
But
be compared.
I hear where you're coming from, right? And this is coming from a guy who used to watch the original Lion King like it was a goddamn TV show, like every fucking
day,
literally every day. And
Because you're a Leo too.
Yes, but that's beyond.
No,
beyond
it's
this.
not. It's
beyond
that's
this,
exactly
Jeff.
it.
Petty podcaster, shut up. So I felt like at least with that they kept the original storyline though, right? With the new Lion King, it was very similar to the original Lion King. I felt like they kept a lot of the music. Like I enjoyed it. I liked it.
I gotta stop reading reviews before I see shit because like I read that, but no, because like the one thing that was like the big complaint is like the animals that they use, like the whatever they use,
CGI.
like the CGI, like it wasn't like there was no emotion with like the things they were saying. It was just an animal, like an animal expression, and that's what I got from the original animation, like that emotion. It could feel when fucking homeboy died, Mufasa. Whatever.
I get what you're saying.
You know what I mean? I wouldn't get that in the remake.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's why I really didn't care for the remake
I
of
feel
Lion
like
King.
that,
You know what I mean?
there's an emotional capacity that definitely was
That
minimized
CGI can't
with
do
that.
with certain things.
I agree.
And I think like
agree
you
with
said
that.
with Beyonce just having that monotone voice, I think that's the same thing in the movie as well. And
Oh, Gambino has
Yeah.
such a monotone voice too. He was like, "We need you home, Simba." He's like, "I'm all right." It's just like, that's not how you respond in the situation. You know? You have to
Wait,
say more.
so going forward into 2020, like what will you do? Will you focus on just one thing specifically and then move on to the next thing each day, each week, whatever? Or
I don't know.
you have no
I
idea?
have no idea. I know the projects that I want to create in 2020, and so that's what my focus will be on. And we'll see how that goes. And building an actual like production team that'll really be on the same page with me.
You're so authentic. Like you're just like you just Latasha. Like you just move with your own boat.
You can plan and you can hope for things to happen as a creative, and that's great. That's awesome. But evidently, that's all up to readiness and chance and experience and the right time and the right person and the network. There's so many variables that can take the control away from you. So I'm half and half on like knowing everything going into it because I know it all can just fall apart.
So is that what keeps you from having like those plans? Because you know that there's so many variables that are contingent, and that you just feel like if you come up with a plan that you're like, fuck it, shit's gonna go this way or that way, and this plan will be irrelevant anyway. Do you feel like that?
Yeah, like there's so many elements of it that are out of
They're
your
unpredictable.
control. Yeah, like there's just so many elements that are just out of your control. So yeah.
What do you
So is
feel
everything.
about the whole analogy of having the same destination and not worrying about the actual route, right? Mm-hmm. Like, don't you think that would help, knowing that you know where your end goal is for, let's say, each part of the branch that you have creatively, you know where the end goal is, and just not being concerned about the route, but just knowing what that looks like, that end goal.
Yeah, I think you can aim for something. And you can even plan the steps on like what it'll take to get to this place. Mm-hmm. But there are some people, places, and things that are just going to outright tell you no, and you just have to like figure out your way around that. Like you have to kind of, well, I don't want to say you have to. What I prefer to do is just kind of, I'm just trying to get there. That's really the answer I have. I'm just trying to create to the best of my capacity.
Do you have like high expectations for yourself?
No, I think I'm trash. No,
I don't believe that.
I'm trash.
I think you probably a perfectionist on the low.
Yeah.
Like,
I am. I'm hella impressed with myself. I think hella people are sleeping on me. I think I'm brilliant. I think I honestly am a genius. I don't see people producing at the capacity that I produce content. People haven't been doing it for as long as I've been doing it. People don't have the experience and the knowledge and the comfort and the whereabouts, and just like, I'm fucking dope. And I know I'm fucking dope, and I know I'm going to hit. And it's just like, it's just really a matter of time, because I can see how people move when they don't know, quote unquote, who I am, what I do, and like they kind of like toss me aside because, you know, they want to go to the people who have the clout right now. But when people actually spend time with me, and people look at my resume, and people take a look at my reel, and just like, oh shit, like that's what you do, and I'm like, yeah, we should have just been nice to each other from the beginning. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I know what I am, and I know what I'm capable of, and I know I'm super proud of what I've done, and all I can do is move forward. So I just want to prove stuff to myself at this point. So that's it.
What about how does your family feel about what you do? Are they supportive? Do they understand?
They're super supportive. They're more supportive of me in the times that I kind of lose that footing of like just being encouraged and being, you know, confident about it. They're just like, no, like you got it. You're it. Like you got it. You're definitely gonna get to the place that you dream of. And they've been integral to how long I've been doing this, because without a support system like that, I would have gave up a long time ago, because it gets hard to be your own cheerleader the entirety of the time.
Facts.
It does.
I want to be you. Like, I want to, like,
No,
I want to,
don't,
no, like, I
please.
want to be, like,
You want to be you, Jeff.
I want to be me, but I
Just
want to
Jeff.
be able to feel like just Jeff. Like, I feel like I've expressed, like, my confidence in the things that I do, but I don't feel like I mean it. But I can hear, like, you meaning it in the sound of your voice. Like, did you always feel that way, like, throughout the entirety of your life? You always felt that confidence in yourself? Or is it the amount of years that you put in that led you to that mindset?
The years I've put in led me there because I think I've been maneuvering my space majority of the time, denying myself, denying my talent, and denying the fact that I belong in certain spaces and rooms and around, you know, a certain tier of people. Like, I would do something amazing and walk into a room and be like, I don't belong here, and just like, I suck and I'm not like any of these people. And I just did something that blew everyone in there out the water, and I was having like such a mental disconnect about that. And I owe it to myself to be like, nah, like, you're it. Like, you know, I can't afford to talk about myself like that anymore, or walk around with my head down and my shoulders sunken in, because feeling bad really, really, really gets you just nowhere. And I'd rather not, just on a personal, so I'd rather not feel bad about myself.
I'd rather be around somebody who's overly confident than somebody with low self-esteem.
Yeah, I can deal without neither one or the other.
I would prefer.
You've been around me for like a whole year. I have low self-esteem.
I just said I can deal with.
She said she was telling the truth.
I feel like there's moments where you are overly confident too, though.
Yeah, like he does
It
both.
varies.
And this is why me and him always bump heads. It'd be like, because it's either I see low self-esteem Jeff, or
the
I
Jeff poking
get
his
too
chest
much
out.
ego Jeff, and I just be like, yo, nigga, pick which one you want to be, and I can figure out how to
But
deal with you from
it's
there.
never
you don't
constant.
feel like one side every day,
Right,
like every
it's
time.
never constant.
It's one or the other. Like,
I hear that.
And that's
I do
a
hear
not-
that.
that's a
I
natural
understand
flow.
that, but I do feel like with some people, it's not one of the. I feel like with some people, it's not one or the other because they choose not to. Because some people, again, they're looking more so for sympathy and that extra coddle.
that's something
And
I talk about with my therapist. Yeah.
And that's what I lack. I lack the whole coddle. I don't coddle. I can't do it. Unless you
You have no patience
That's
for it.
exactly what I talk about with my therapist.
I'm sorry, sis, pussy.
Yeah, so
Cool,
yeah,
yeah.
but I'm not doing it like that. Like, I'm not about to be like, oh, hey, boo. No.
I think that's why we clash also, because like I feel like that's what I'm used to, is the coddling and like the fake.
And I'm just
love.
like, yo, get your shit together. I don't have no time for this. We about to move this way. We need everybody to be in line and informed, and let's go.
That's how all the women in my family are.
Yeah.
I was about to say it might be a gender and a cultural thing, because women are taught to nurture and give to men, and then women don't get that vulnerability and emotional support back. Usually, they're just taught to like get it together and build and move.
I believe in you. Like, I really think you're gonna be.
Oh, we just
That sounded like a commercial.
No, like,
You believe
Sign
in
up.
you.
I really
Sign
do.
up for the
believe
Navy
it.
SEAls
No,
now.
right
I
now.
saw it at the seminar. Like, I was really, because like that's something I would like to do in the
for
future.
Jeff.
Like, I would like
No,
to
I
be.
definitely. At the seminars. You definitely.
You were a
house your
curator.
own, yeah.
That would have fallen apart without you. And like,
Yeah.
I think you have that natural like.
She knows she got it.
You got,
personality.
yeah. I don't need to
know
tell
she
you.
has it,
I
yeah.
don't
She
need to tell
got
you,
the
sis.
sauce.
You
She
got
knows
it.
She got the sauce.
You know what I mean?
The
Like,
sauce,
The
the
sauce.
recipe,
She got
That
the recipe.
drip.
but I
and
do.
she got the bread, the fluffy buns.
For the sauce.
I do think you should get like maybe 2 or 3 people around you that you really trust their opinion on, to like center you when you're getting in those moments of feeling like you're just not in those spaces where you should be or you deserve
Oh,
to be.
what does center you when you're in those moments?
Calming down.
Do you smoke?
No.
What do you do to calm down?
I be still. I think a lot of production can also turn into like an emotional procrastination or a mental procrastination, like staying busy because you're avoiding something, and then it becomes like this desperate attempt to achieve something, and so that the creation becomes a little empty and void. So if I slow down and like recenter, regroup, rebuild that trust within myself, and allow myself to have a break and have a moment of solitude, get my mind right, and then I'll regain the energy to like create something else again. I just can't be on an endless loop like I tend to fall into.
You have an actual job, like a full-time job, right? Did you feel like that is holding you back in any way? Are you trying to escape that?
I need my job. I ain't gonna lie to you. So I'm really just trying to figure out how to balance the time. My time is totally different with a full-time job. This is the first time in many years I've had like an actual structured hour and like working schedule. I used to just do odd jobs for years, and so now my time is totally different. So that's what I'm really trying to figure out how to balance.
Time.
It has to be more intentional with like the things that I work on.
I've been telling myself this entire year, or at least maybe the past few months, like that this is my last full-time job, like my last time requesting a PTO. Like I want to take a vacation when I want to. Like I don't want to go through fucking ADP and put in a fucking PTO. I feel like this is my last year working a full-time job. Like I think going into 2020.
Listen, don't make stuff harder for yourself, because that not having money stuff is not glamorous. I don't know why. I don't know where we got the idea to like shit on 9-to-5s, but keep that shit until that money works for you. Don't hurt yourself.
Finance your
Security
dream.
and happiness don't.
Exactly.
Security and happiness just don't match up to me. They're not synonymous with each other. Like
That's your goal, is to
yeah.
make them.
Like me and my
match
9
up.
to 5, I
Absolutely.
didn't really have a choice. Like they was like either you lose all this good pension money or you walk out of here on your own accord. So I was like, let me take me and my pension out the door. Like y'all can kiss my ass.
Yeah.
But I've been making it work for me for a year.
Yeah.
But I'm not gonna lie. This week I was just like, yo, I'm about to go get a fucking job. Like fuck this shit, because it's not because I'm without, but I'm used to a certain type of.
A certain flow.
Yeah. And it was just like, yo, God, I really have to learn how to like live within my means. This year's been a great money management type of lesson, all types of shit, but it's also like, okay,
That's the thing. Like,
it's just
not
like but so many magic spells I can do out here. My money spells do work though, but it's only but so many I can do.
that entrepreneurial dollar is different. Like if you're not fully ready to work to create an income for yourself, it is a whole job within itself. Do not get rid of that 9-to-5. It's not sexy.
If you don't have to, don't get rid of it.
And the
It's not
people
sexy
who
on that
are
side.
listening who are entrepreneurs, just know when you do take that leap, you're going to be working way longer hours than you would have been if you were having that 9-to-5. Like, that's
It's
the
24/7.
reality.
I work all day, every day.
That is the reality, because, like, I
still haven't touched that pension money. I'm about to go dip into it.
I stopped working a regular job when I was
Word.
23, so now it's about to be 4 years. But I'm always finding a way to get money because I need it. You know what I'm saying? Like,
being broke
And
makes
you're
you
drawing it
creative.
to
yes,
you, yeah.
it makes you
Oh,
real
hell yeah.
creative, and it makes you a hustler, bro. Like, but I do feel like you do have to get to that point where you're forcing yourself to be that creative. You have to figure out how to survive, how to get that money. Like, if you're trying to get out of that 9-to-5 lifestyle, be prepared to work twice as hard.
Twice as hard.
I'm
Just
trying.
that's all I said.
CR,
Like, it's
I'm
not
trying.
easy. Like
That's
you really
all I
do have to
said.
work
CR,
twice as hard.
I'm looking at you in your eyes and I'm telling you I'm trying.
All right.
But we have to wrap this up. Unfortunately, you have been amazing. Thank
This
you
is
for
such
coming.
a good interview.
We're gonna end this off with, we have a segment on this podcast called Don't Sleep. We have two segments, Hey Bitch Hey, and we have Don't Sleep. Don't Sleep is something we recommend to our audience you shouldn't sleep on. It could be something as simple as a dish you had the other night or something deeper than that. And I have a Don't Sleep. It is a Maya Angelou quote: seek patience and passion in equal amounts. Patience alone will not build a temple. Passion alone will destroy its walls. And that really struck a chord with me when I read it again. I've seen it before when I was in like high school. And expectations, like just the feeling like I should be where my mind told me I should be at this point by the end of 2019. And I'm appreciative of where I'm at. I'm appreciative of everything we've done this far. But I've learned that I need to slow down and appreciate what's going on and be more patient with my journey and just detach from the goal and appreciate the journey, because I think I'll have more fun that way. It'll be easier for me to get even further than I ever expected. And I think everyone else should just do that. Detach from the end goal, appreciate the journey, and have fun. Because this life shit ain't guaranteed. It doesn't last forever. So, CR, Coco, Lainey, do you guys have like a Don't Sleep or a Hey Bitch Hey?
Hey bitch, hey, don't sleep on just Latasha and Aura TV. And I have
Co-sign
another
that.
Don't Sleep. Honestly, to all my witches out there, do not sleep on respecting your ancestors and having these talks with your ancestors and feeding your ancestors. You have to feed your ancestors. I know it seems dumb to put a plate of food out for somebody who you think is not going to eat it, but they eat that shit. So yeah, to all my witches out there.
Coco or CR, do you have a Don't Sleep or Hey Bitch Hey
I got-
before we get to
I got
Latashas?
both. Hey, bitch, hey. to all my Lyft riders out there, your kids, stop fucking having your kids' feet on my car seats, please. Right? And to the little nigga that left that Reese's wrapper in my back seat, that's fucked up.
I respect him.
All right?
I respect
Fuck
him.
Halloween.
Was it chocolate in the wrapper or was it just the wrapper?
Oh, there's a little chocolate that's on
Oh,
the
damn.
Matter of fact, anyone
He's a
gets in
fucking
CR's,
savage.
anyone gets in CR's Lyft after this point, leave shit in his backseat.
Little people.
Because it's funny. I want to hear about more Lyft stories.
All right. I have to get that out. Anyway.
Thank you. My bad, sorry.
Yes. So please don't sleep on finding your why in life, right? We all have goals. We all have things that we're doing. But stop and ask yourself, why the fuck am I doing this? Rather if it's a job, rather if it's a relationship, no matter what it is, sit back and really ask yourself, why do I want this and why am I doing this?
Thank you.
Yeah. Yes.
Word. Why?
I would just say, don't sleep on. Damn, I lost my train of thought. Don't sleep on your own. I've said this before. I actually try to repeat my don't sleep.
That's your theme.
Yeah. Don't sleep on the need to center yourself. Latasha had spoken about that before, about just, centering yourself, staying, taking some time to be a little, not a little, but quiet in order to quiet your mind. And, like Lainey always focuses on as far as like spirit. Sometimes you have to, those questions that you have, they're being answered, but you can't hear it because you have a lot going on. And I personally know a few people that are going through a lot of things that where it seems like everything is fucking up at the same time. Shit happens, that's life. But sometimes we have the answers as to why those things are going haywire, why we're having miscommunications. We just need to internalize and find out what's going on with us. It's not always everybody else. Sometimes it's you. So just, look inward. So,
Latasha, do you have anything people shouldn't sleep on? Or a hey bitch hey?
I want to say hey bitch hey to the baddest bitch of the 2000s, Cisco, Mr. Mark Andrews. I just want to say you're appreciated. Just come on Twitter, say hi, stop hiding out in Baltimore, and just be the friendly dragon we know you to be.
He in the hood?
Cisco's name is
He
Mark?
in the hood?
Mark Andrews.
What the f-
Did you
His
ever see
birthday's
his
on
wife
Saturday.
swap?
No.
Google his wife swap. It was the most funniest thing in the world. You need to watch that.
Oh my God.
I watched his Drew Hill reality show with Keith Sweat.
It was like 3
On
years ago.
BET.
He did a wife swap.
I have to look it up. I've seen his worst moments on YouTube and BET, and it's been a great ride. I just want to thank you.
thank you for sharing.
And don't sleep on rest, which I guess means get more sleep. We are human beings, not human doings. And capitalism lied to us and told us we have to earn our value by making more or having more or hoarding more. And that's just not true. We are people here to experience this one ride that we got called life, and we're supposed to enjoy every minute of it. So don't miss it.
Please shout out where people can find you and support you.
JustLatasha.com, also AuroraTV.com, and you can subscribe to my YouTube channel, the Just Latasha channel.
Right.
And make sure you follow me on Instagram at CR_908. Keep up with the highlights from Jersey's Got Talent. We've got some new stuff coming out, new music coming out. Killer Casey and Maji about to drop some new heat. Get ready. Grab some water because it's going to get hot.
That was corny. That was so corny. Lainey and Coco, do you guys have anything? Do you want to shout out anything before you shout out your social media or anything you have going on?
Next Saturday we have the live podcast. I hear I got the studio podcast.
Hey.
So log on.
I think
You're
this
on
is gonna
Instagram.
drop.
Go to Introverted Intuition and look at all the posts and get your tickets.
This is going to drop the day before, no?
This is gonna drop the day before, so yeah.
So it still counts?
Yeah.
It still
Counts,
counts.
yeah.
Still counts,
Get
baby.
your tickets.
Come see
Still
us
counts,
tomorrow.
Come see us.
So
Come see
yeah,
us tomorrow
if
at
you're-
our first live
if you're
show.
interested in coming on the show as a guest, please email us at introvertedpod@yahoo.com. You can send us your music. I'll listen. I'm more open to the new music.
This week,
We
today.
got $50
Follow us on
slots.
follow us on Instagram at Introverted Intuition Pod. Follow us on Twitter at Introverted Pod. I gotta be more active on there. And thank you so much for listening. Thank you, Latasha.
Thank you, guys. I had so much fun here.
Thank you for coming.
We have to set up the sex for the Battle of the Sexes.
Yeah, we've been saying that we have to do it.
December, we'll do it. But we have to get
Yes.
out of here because I think they're getting
Yes.
pissed because they keep looking in here.
All right, we outie.
They walked
All
away.
right.
Peace out.
Bye.
All right, let's do drugs.
We have to actually, I have to do an ad. But can one of you guys like record her like doing a video like, hey, we just wrapped up Introverted Intuition, episode drops Friday. Do that.